Good morning, Asta.
Good morning. I'm back. Yes, let me do it directly.
Thank you for all your help over the last couple of weeks.
Come on, it's absolutely my pleasure. I'm getting a lot of learning from you.
And it's the last day. Hallelujah.
Yes.
Hi, Reinhold.
Hello, Tasneem.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I got my cup of coffee.
Did you have your breakfast? Because it seems it's going to be a long day and we will be having a lot of discussions.
I usually have breakfast after our sessions, but I have coffee before.
So tomorrow you will return back to your normal responsibilities, or you're going to take like a couple of days off to rest?
Well, I have my other responsibility at the university, so I don't have time to take a day off, but I will go for an extra long walk in Golden Gate Park. And I will take some, I will turn my email off over the weekend, so no email on the weekend.
Well deserved, honestly.
It was a long program.
Yeah, I believe that as well.
Well, for you
we
too.
had to manage a lot of things.
For you too. So let me get ready, but good to see you. Hello, Ignacio Astilleros.
Hello, good afternoon. Nice to meet you, Reinhold.
¿Cómo estás?
I think you did a nice try of the pronunciation. I think it was almost perfect.
Almost. So it's Astilleros, yeah?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Where are you from, Reinhold?
Well, I'm originally from Germany.
Okay. So you spent some holidays in Spain, maybe?
No, not in Spain, but I've done quite a bit of work in South America.
Okay.
And I love,
so nice to meet you.
I love Spanish, and I love languages. I love Spanish and Portuguese and South America. So
Okay, that's great to hear.
Are you based here in Silicon Valley or in Spain or somewhere
I'm
else?
I'm based in Spain.
In Spain.
In Spain, yes. No, excuse me, in Dubai. I'm original from Spain, but I'm based in Dubai. And I met with your organization, with the Silicon Valley Innovation Center, the first time in Silicon Valley, in a visit of South Telecom, long time ago, a couple of years ago.
Okay, good, good. And so it's also 6 o'clock for you, right?
It's well, it's 7 p.m. It's fine, 7 p.m.
Okay, so let's just wait a few more minutes, and then as we have more people coming in, then I will hand it off to you.
Okay.
Is that a virtual background or is that a real background?
No, it's virtual. In fact, I guess it's well inserted.
It looks real. Good evening, everybody. As you log on, good to see your faces. Ready for the presentations afterwards? I see a smile. Let's just wait another minute or two. More people log on. And it's another sunny day in California, in San Francisco. Yesterday it was very foggy, but today it looks like it's going to be a nice day. Yes, the sun is coming up. Okay, maybe one more minute. 12 participants. So okay, let's get started. Again, good evening. Greetings from sunny California. And this is our final day of the 5-week program. And I'm looking forward to your presentations afterwards. And right now, I'm looking forward to a presentation by Ignacio Astilleros from Intel, who will share with us all the news that we need to know about IoT, the Internet of Things, and more, maybe. So without further ado, Ignacio, I'm going to hand it over to you and feel free to take it from here.
Okay, thank you very much, Reinhold. And first of all, thank you for your invitation very kindly. It's a great honor and a pleasure to be with you today and to have this opportunity to meet you and to talk about Intel and talk about Internet of Things, the world of hyperconnectivity, etc. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ignacio. I'm original from Spain. I live in Dubai happily during the last 2 years and supporting the telcos in Middle East and Africa. And well, I've been working in the telecom industry most of my life, more than 25 years. And well, I think I have a presentation ready. I have a lot of slides. I don't want to get you bored. I hope the focus is really appropriate, but I really appreciate if you can interrupt me. Feel free to ask. I think it should be fantastic to have a conversation, a discussion with you about the topics, okay? I count Reinhold, if I am correct, with 1 hour, right? So I will try to, maybe to finish in 45 minutes, that at least we have some time at the end, for discussion, etc.
Sounds good.
But again, if you want to ask or put in the chat window, I will have the chat window open, and feel free to tell, okay? So, okay, let me share. Okay, I hope that you can see my screen, right?
Looks good.
Okay, good. Great. So, good. So, well, first of all, I wanted to give you a very, very fast introduction about Intel, because Intel is a company that, I mean, everybody knows Intel, right? It's a very recognized brand, but at the same time, it's true that Intel do many things that people don't know, and or maybe don't know the history. And I guess most of you are curious also about the situation today with the semiconductor and microelectronics industry, right? The shortage and many things that are happening, right? So, well, we are a reasonably old company, more than 50 years in this industry that is super dynamic industry, right? And there are many innovations we started doing, from the very big. I mean, Silicon Valley, in part, is the name of Silicon Valley is about the contribution of Intel, in part, right? Obviously, all of you know about the x86 architecture that is present in most of the personal computers that you are using, right? And we have been really one of the the stars in the personal computer concept to make this progress and massively adopted. We invented things like a USB. We have been a key player in the Wi-Fi and many technologies that are very important. And are present in our lives in a very normal way. So Intel has been contributing, right? So it's interesting in this slide because we have a new president that is Mr. Pat Gelsinger. He was chief architect of the 486. He's a person that knows very well the company, more than 30 years of experience in Intel. Then he has been in VMware. He came back and is doing a fantastic new plan for the company. Let me just, well, this is the let's say how is going to be our world, right? I think it's about the computing capability is not going to be only in our personal computer and in the data centers. The computing is going to be everywhere. So we know what's going on with the cars today, but it's much more. It's in the video cameras, it's in many things, right? And we will have what we name pervasive connectivity. Means everything is going to be continuously connected, everything more and more. And well, cloud and edge. We are going to talk about edge because I don't know how familiar you are with the concept of edge, but I think it's interesting. If we are going to talk about IoT, is to understand really what means edge, and of course, artificial intelligence. So just to finish about the introduction of Intel, right? Just wanted to let you know that Intel has a kind of a unique model because we have our own factories. Not all the microprocessor company has their own factories, okay? They work with external factories. So we have our own factories. We also use external foundries, and also we are going to sell our own foundries to third parties. This is what we name the IDM 2.0, that is going to redefine our processes in a way that we have this flexibility and this capability to give us a massive economies of scale that the market is demanding. Okay, there's a tremendous pressure today in chip manufacturing, and Intel is investing and redefining our strategy. Just the numbers, 78 billion dollars. I'm more than 100,000 employees. I'm especially proud of this. You know, in the COVID-19 year, we allocated a fund to help the companies to develop solutions and to use our technology for solutions to manage the COVID. And we gave more than $38 million for that. And well, we are a company with a clear social orientation and high value proposed, right? This is Intel in a nutshell, okay? And then I'm going fast in this part, okay? Because I want to talk about obviously the presentation of today, but this is Intel in a nutshell, okay? We have client computing, we have data center and artificial intelligence. These are like let's say business units or product lines, right? Network edge, we are working very intensively with the carriers. We have also accelerators that are happening, you know, like graphic processing units, FPGAs, and other terminology. Maybe you are not very familiar, but it's happening. You need a special processors for certain workloads. We are working, we have a company that is 100% by Intel Mobileye. We are doing more than $1 billion in autonomous driving. And we have also our foundries that make us our business model unique, as we mentioned, right? So Intel is very innovative company. Every employee has somehow have some degrees of freedom to make things, to innovate, to change the things, and this is really what the founder stimulates and you know, is go off and do something wonderful. You know. Don't get the limits, and this is the philosophy of Intel, right? So well, and now after this brief introduction, you know, I just wanted to, I don't want to sell you the company, you know, I just wanted to, just in case any of you have to clarify about what we do in Intel, right? So connecting the world with IoT. Okay, I was thinking, what is the best way to talk about this, you know, because I mean, you can talk about IoT, you can talk about, I don't know, the hyperconnectivity, or you can talk, I don't know, but at the end, it's absolutely necessary to talk about multiple technologies that are, and phenomenons that are converging at the same time. So we have the massive adoption of 5G, and I think in the Saudi market is pretty advanced. The adoption of 5G. I get impressed about I think Saudi is doing a great job in terms of regulation and releasing a spectrum to let this happen. We have the phenomenon of edge computing, and we will talk now about this and what does it means. And then I believe all of you are thinking about, okay, what is the usage? For what this is useful? What does it mean for me? I don't know. I believe in this call there are people from different kind of industries. I guess, right? Reinhold, I think there are multiple kind of customers and verticals and so, right? So okay, let me wait. Sorry. Okay. So first of all, let's talk a little about 5G. Okay, 5G. First of all, it's important to understand that 5G is not about something more, let's say, faster. It's about a new way of doing the networks. It's a new way of understanding how the network should be and how the things should be connected. Okay, so now, okay, you can buy a 5G phone and you will experience the same. Okay, you will probably notice not much differences, but with 5G, we are going to connect many things that before were not connected. And also they are going to change information from one thing to the other. So this is the beauty of, really of 5G, right? So this is a kind of, let's say, vision, okay? You have one person, and here this person is walking in the street, and he has a mobile phone, and the mobile phone possibly is connected to an implant in his body, and he's taking some parameters from the body about the blood glucose, cholesterol, etc., or the heart or whatever, you know. And then also you can see the cars has some parameters about the speed. For example, the cars can be connected between each other. The cars can be connected to the infrastructure. Okay, the infrastructure can tell information useful to the cars, and they can take you know, smart decisions about where to go or take care with an accident, etc. So this is the world of the hyperconnectivity, and this is a little you know, about what is going to happen really. Sorry. Okay, the need of 5G, okay, I mentioned is about the, you know, there's a pressure of more and more things connected. Streaming is everywhere. I think possibly you see the cars has a video, and in the future, what's going to happen is that you have a kind of Netflix in your car. And also they're going to be in the manufacturing machine to machine more and more, you know, with very low latency requirements. We are going to see some examples now later. Okay. So okay, what is the, you know, the next paradigm to support the new data demand? You know, I think how to explain this. You know, basically this world of hyperconnectivity in 5G, the main difference is that in 4G you have basically your personal computer or your mobile device, okay, connected to a kind of cloud, okay. And the cloud, let me say that here the connectivity is driven by the carrier, the operator, okay? And that's quite, let's say, simple to understand. It's basically what we have in 4G that is fantastic. But what means 5G? What is the next paradigm, right? So what we have is, okay, cloud is exploding. We will have a cloud, of course. And then what's happened is that the network where you are connected is full of distributed, let's say, nodes, okay, that are connected each other. Okay, this is the network of the telecom carrier. Okay, is connected through a hierarchy of nodes. Let's say it's like a mesh. Okay, and then we have here what we name intelligent agents. Intelligent agents means, okay, you have PCs, you have mobile devices, but you have many things that are connected with intelligence, with artificial intelligence. So they take some decisions in an autonomous way, and some of the decisions, you know, they can be reactive to other things, right? So the distributed nodes, this means that I mean, this kind of light blue spot are computing, in order to understand, is computing capability. So you will have a cloud with a lot of computing capability. We are talking about these kind of data centers with thousands and thousands of servers, right? Then we have computing capability in the network that they can let's say execute some workloads, some applications that are necessary for providing a new service that doesn't exist before, for example, okay? And then we have these intelligent agents. Why you need, and this is important, why you need here some computing capability that you don't have before? Because these intelligent agents needs to have an ultra fast answer. So then in the 4G world, maybe you can have something you can request with an application in a phone or your application in the car. You can request something and then it goes to the cloud and then it's executed and then go back, and you take maybe half second. And for you it's acceptable, there's no problem with that, okay? But when you have this intelligent agent, maybe you have a car, or maybe you have a robot, or maybe you have something in a shop, or maybe you have, I don't know, thousands and thousands of different things that demands immediate answer, immediate. So then you need really to process the things closer to these intelligent agents. And this is what we are going to talk about the edge. Okay, there are going to be like servers everywhere, close to the mobile base station, in the shops, in the enterprise, along the network in many places in a kind of hierarchy of connected dots, right? And this is where Intel is working very intensively with the customers. In the case of Saudi, we are working very intensively with Saudi Telecom in this space. How the network should be in the future, how this computing capability is going to spread along the network, and also how you are going to execute, how you are going to give artificial intelligence capability for the applications of the future. One example of this is, okay, I think all of us understand the concept of a smart city, or has listened about the concept of a smart video surveillance. Okay, you have cameras connected, and these cameras can have a kind of capability to process the video and to track for events. We are going to see an example later, right? So then you will need artificial intelligence to understand what's going on. Okay, without that, you have just a video that you store and you don't know what to do with that. Nobody see the video. So artificial intelligence is going to be everywhere, taking decisions depending on events that are going to happen in the network, and there are going to be more and more events, and the traffic is going to be explosively growing. So fiber is going to be important as well. So well, this is let's say a very high level vision of the revolution of 5G and why 5G is going to drive this hyper-connected world and the massive IoT. The IoT, the new IoT, in my opinion, is this concept of intelligent agents. Okay, it's about any kind of thing connected with computing capability and with intelligence. This is about the new IoT that we are going to have. So we are not talking only about the previous IoT. For example, a smart meter. Okay, a smart meter is great. I mean, a smart meter can send information and that's it. But in the future, it will have the capability to do more things. That's. I don't know if there's any question so far. I don't want to get very technical. I don't want to talk about the spectrum and things like that. This is very telco, but I think it's, yeah. Excuse me, Renko. Yes.
Ignacio, I have one question. The distributed nodes under 4G, there is already a distributed network. Wouldn't those be nodes as well?
Yeah, no, you are right, Reinhold. I think in the case of 4G, we could have also some, let's say, edge computing capability. Okay, but the truth is that in the let's say in the development of 4G, this distributed network was only for network workloads. The difference is that today, what we are going to do is to introduce, for example, business-to-business applications. That before, the business-to-business application were purely either in the cloud or in the enterprise, but not in the network, right? So then these are the kind of new needs that, okay, is going to coexist. At the end, Reinhold, both things are going to coexist for some time, because it's not keeping out one network from the other one. Is going to coexist during some time. And this is a vision. This is the long-term vision. It's going to happen in, I don't know, in 2 years, for example, right? And we are starting now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, talking about the timing, so how it's going to happen? This is what we are seeing in the market now. Okay. So between 2019, 2020, 2021, we are here. Okay, we are seeing the first rollouts of 5G, and well, again, I want to say that in the case of Saudi, I'm quite impressed about how visionary they were, and they were really fast in the implementation of 5G. Here in 2021, 2022, what we are seeing is ultra low latency 5G use cases, typically for Industry 4.0. Now we are going to talk later about what's happening with the robots in a manufacturing plant, why they need ultra low latency, because ultra low latency, what does it mean? This means, as an example, that it's not enough, for example, 100 milliseconds. 100 milliseconds is very, very fast, okay? It's like the 10th part of 1 second. It looks like very fast. No, it's not enough. It's not enough. 50 milliseconds is not enough. Maybe 20 milliseconds needs to be less than 10 milliseconds. Okay, this is the ultra low latency, and we will see that some industries are using this capability in order to improve quality of the producing, and we will see some example later. Okay, and then in 2023 and beyond, we will see the massive development of adoption of 5G in the cars, the smart agriculture. There are quite impressive examples of smart agriculture in some places happening with robots, autonomous robots taking care of the fields, and it's really impressive what's going on. Okay, so well, this is more or less the timing. Of course, it's very difficult to know. You know, I think because in the middle of everything happens the COVID and everything changed. So then, well, this is more or less our estimation and what we are seeing in the market. Okay. Good, and then I believe the people in the call has a significant responsibility in important businesses in Saudi, right? And you will thinking about, okay, what is the benefit for my company? What is the benefit for my team? What is the benefit for my responsibility? You know, for any business, you know, and not only because I'm talking about telecommunications, but we are talking about almost any business can take benefit of 5G and AI and this IoT world, right? So, well, the point is, so this is I like this research. Is ABI research about the 5G and AI. Again, is the combination of both of 5G and AI is the combination of both that will develop. As a kind of a new platform of innovation, will develop these services that will increase productivity. Okay, because otherwise you may be concerned. Okay, I need to invest a lot of money in 5G. I need to invest a lot of money in things for AI. I need to invest in training. I need to invest. So it's like I need to invest a lot, you know. So, but if you create the right platform in an effective way, and this is why. The carriers are going to be very important, and Intel is trying to help to the industries to do in a very simple manner. Okay, how to do it very simple? Then you will be able to achieve an increase in GDP, in the gross domestic product, in productivity, in any industry. Okay, this is the vision, and you can see, of course, this is very long term. Okay, but you will see that really in 2024. We expect really the productivity increase a lot, and you see this slope is, you know, is quite pronunciated. Okay, so we are seeing significant increases in productivity from 2023 2024. Okay, now everything, when I talk to my colleagues, everything is heavy lifting. Okay, because you see, okay, I need to create this platform, and create this platform is, you know, is tough. You know, it's a lot of technologies. I don't understand. I need to know how to use it, you know. So yeah, I think we will take a couple of years of you know, doing some efforts, but we have today we have immediate cases that are taking benefit of 5G. So little by little, I think these kind of cases will create confidence, and will continue stimulating the investments that are necessary for this to happen. Good. Let me again going back to this network of let's say of things, right? About the edge. Okay. And this is a little telco slide, but I believe all of you will understand very well. You know, basically when you execute an application today in your company or in whatever business, you are in a cloud data center. For example, imagine Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Alibaba, So you have your cloud data center. The cloud data center is connected to a network of the carrier. Okay, this could be, as an example, Saudi Telecom. Okay, this is a kind of central point of communication. This is what we call the core network. Okay, it's like the brain of everything. And then we have this, let's say, hierarchy of the network of what we name edge, okay, or regional data centers, small data centers that are going to have this computing capability. And what is the driver? The driver for the edge is going to be the latency, because these things, these IoT things that are connected, demands immediate answers. So then they cannot wait to do, for example, imagine you have a factory, you have a robot connected to a factory, to an application. Imagine you need to go through the router, then go to the network, you're doing several hops in the network, go to the core, and then go finally to the data center. And maybe the data center is very far and you need to do, and then go back with the answer, process, so then you take maybe 1 second or 2 seconds, imagine, right? That's not possible in some applications. So then what is the solution? Put the application here. Don't go to the data center. Don't go even to the central exchange. Directly from the edge, you will give an answer to the factory, okay, or to the robot, or to whatever they need. Okay, so you have this is the disruption. What is happening, or you can even provide an answer from here, okay, from the on-premise edge. That could be a kind of advanced router or something, right? Or can be even close to the tower of telecommunications, the kind of tower for mobile business, for mobile communications that you can see in the street, in the rooftop, etc. Right? So this is this is a new business that did not exist before, that is emerging. And according to different researches, we are thinking about in 2024 the opportunity of silicon. I'm talking about chips. Okay, it will be $65 billion in edge. So it's a massive investment that is going to drive. And also one information that, in my opinion, is very interesting is in 2025, 75% of the data will be created and processed outside of the data center. So this means that the 75% of the data and the computing is going to be out of the data center. I mean, all of you knows how the data centers are growing. Incredible, right? In the case of Saudi, there's a lot of data centers in construction, and you can find many players investing a lot and very important projects. And looks like massive, but the reality is not. I mean, in very soon we will have even more computing outside the data centers in this edge. Okay, and also the data is going to be created and processed out of the edge, out of the data center. Sorry, as we mentioned, right? So and this is really what we were talking before about. It's all about the latency. Okay, we are talking about a hyper-connected world. This IoT is going to be, everything is going to be connected. You know, drones, video cameras, vehicles, phones, any equipment you have at the office, any equipment at home, and the television. I think well, everything, right? So so then we need, you know, depending on the milliseconds you need. We are talking about the far edge, or we are talking about the network edge. And this is the kind of infrastructure and new architectures that we are innovating with our customers. And just to mention again one close example to you in Saudi market, we publish a paper with Saudi Telecom that is public, and you can access to that. And it explains about the kind of architecture that we are innovating together. We are very proud to work with them on this kind of innovation activities. So good. Okay, what is doing Intel, or what is happening? How this let's say computing and capability and how the data is managed in all of these domains. Okay, this is necessary to I mean, Intel is a company that has a solution for every of these domain. Okay, so we have first of all, we have a suite of processors, the traditional business of Intel. Okay, we have then accelerators for artificial intelligence and for some special workloads. And also we have some special technologies for memory. I'm not going to explain about the products of Intel, okay? But also it's very important, the connectivity and the software in order to simplify how you manage everything, okay? You have one CPU, I mean, you have some complexity. If you need to orchestrate a portfolio of silicon for doing complex, for executing complex applications, then you have a complexity to manage, and ideally you need to have a software layer to simplify dramatically how to do it, and this is one of the values of Intel. Okay, good. So I'm going to start now with examples. Okay, how is the real life? Let's say, what is working today? Okay, we are talking about 2023, 2025. Okay, what is working today? What we are doing in Intel is working with our customers to let them understand how to use these technologies, how to have a strategy of edge computing, and how to connect the things that they have in a different way. So this is a quote as an example of one of the technology leaders in Audi, that we help them to understand how to use the data, I mean, how to manage some algorithms, and well, how to take, more important, how to take a business value of the data they have. The problem is that sometimes you have a lot of data and you don't know how to take a business value of this, okay? So, and this is all about, at the end, it's all about IoT, because the data is generated with the things that are connected. But sometimes you use only part of the data. So the idea is how to use all the data to take more and more business value. So it's about analytics with Internet of Things. Good. And okay, so the idea is, and what we're trying in Intel is, when we talk about democratize is and organize, is about how we can, as a company, give very simple tools, very affordable technologies to all the agents in the market, to the enterprise, the cloud service provider, the carrier operators, the independent software vendors, the system integrators, the application developers, and also our community of companies that this is a marketing program of Intel, okay? So how we can simplify dramatically all of this, because you don't need to know all the details about many things. You want to have things simple, you want to have the framework to use them, and this is what we're trying to do in Intel. I think we are really doing, okay? We have many examples of different industries, and I'm not going to extend, because I think it's important that we have some time to talk. I'm going to focus now in 4 or 5 that are significantly interesting, okay? But we are talking in, I don't know, in pharmacy, oil and gas, automotive, smart city, and what else? I mean, telecom. There are many cases, and all of them are real, okay? Okay, let's go to the success stories. Maybe just a little bit of check before going to the customer success. Any questions so far about them? Maybe clarifying any concept that you want to know more, or any comment? Okay. Okay, good. So, okay, I think I will take like 10 minutes to talk about this, okay? Good. Let's see what is doing Audi. This is very interesting. I've been, I have the, I've been, when I was in Intel in Spain before coming to Dubai, I have met several times with the president of the Industry 4.0 in Europe, and he explained me very interesting things that are, how they are doing in this industry, because I couldn't understand in the beginning how to use it in this industry. You know, I can think about a factory. You know, you are building a car, you have a lot of moving parts, and what is useful for, you know, and he has a very good understanding how to do this. Is a very clear example. So imagine you have a weld that is basically like this, right? And you have at the end today, the welds has a lot of pieces, you know, and it's not so simple. So you have a lot of buttons and circuits and you know and many things in the weld, right? So imagine you need to assemble the weld in the car. And the car, and then finally you finish the car, you know, after maybe, I don't know, it's 1 day, or what is the time that they take to build a car, you know, 1 or 2 days. Imagine the car goes to the shop, the shop finally sell the car to a person, and 3 days later the person come to the shop and say, hey, you know, I have a problem with my weld because this button doesn't work, or because I found, for example, I was looking, this scratch in the leather, I don't like it, so please change it. What is the cost for Audi to change a weld? It's a lot of money, you know. You need to take the car, you need to maybe you need to give a car to the customer to don't get unhappy, you know. Then you need to invest in time, you know, of qualified people to do the change of the weld. Sometimes the repair is not perfect, because it's not the same assembling in the manufacturing than, you know, in the shop or in the you know. So then this is a big cost. You know, they have statistics, and this is a big cost. We are talking about welds, but there are other things, right? So and it's incredible. They inspect 5 million welds every day. For me, this is astonishing. I don't know. I think this is probably wrong data. I don't think they inspect 5 million welds every day. I think it's, but I believe it's a significant amount of welds, right? So what they are doing is using edge analytics and machine learning to see the defects. So so what they have is, and the example I see for Industry 4.0 is, you have a camera with a scanner, a 3D scanner of laser. Okay, a laser. Sorry for my pronunciation. I guess in English is correct. Laser, I don't know. So you scan the piece with a laser. So you have a super accurate 3D matrix of the weld. Okay, and you this 3D matrix is massive, a massive amount of data, right? So then you need possibly 5G to transport this data to some place in the factory, and this place is the edge. Okay, you put all the data there, you inference the algorithms of machine learning and analytics, and you take a decision. This wheel is perfect enough, or they have imperfections that are unacceptable. So then you need to answer immediately, and then if the answer is this wheel is not perfect, then you need to, it's better to keep out before putting in the car. Okay, and this way they save a lot of money. Another example I don't have in my presentation is Boeing, the aircraft manufacturing. Okay, you know that when you have in Boeing, you have this big, I think it's not Boeing, it's Rolls-Royce, but it's manufacturing the engine of the aircrafts. Okay, so it's this kind of gigantic engines that is full of these fans. Okay, when you manufacture one of each fan, you could have very small imperfections, because, for example, you have a small seismic, something that you cannot perceive, but this is happening in the manufacturing. Okay, very small vibrations, many small things can alter a little the fan. So then if this happens and you put in an engine that is going round, after whatever miles, it could fail, or it needs maintenance. Okay, so then it's very important for them to have a incredible precise perfection in the fans before mounting in the engine. Okay, and this way Rolls-Royce is saving a lot of money again, and this is all about the smart factory. So you have a scanner, you have analytics, you have 5G connectivity, And this is how the process in the manufacturing is changing, taking advantage of artificial intelligence, connectivity, and IoT at the end, right? Okay, good. Yeah. Well, this is something very unfortunately very familiar to all of us, right? What's happening in the pandemic? Well, during the pandemic, the industry need to develop very quickly some artificial intelligence solutions to track the measures that the governments and the new rules of the government. For example, are you walking with the mask? Are you going to a store and you go with a mask or not? Are you having social distance? Are you maybe 2 meters closer to the other person or not? These kind of things can be done with autonomous things. And probably all of you see in the news, etc., these kind of robots that in some countries they innovate and put the robots in the malls or in some government buildings, etc. And the robots can see, if you are respecting the rules, and they can tell you if you are not respecting the rule, can tell you, etc., right? So it's about having artificial intelligence with a connected camera, connected robot that can tell you something, right? So this kind of technology can be useful in the future for other things. For example, retail. What is going to happen in the retail in the future? How is going to be the shops? You enter into the shop, and we know the concept of the Amazon, what it's trying to do, right? You enter into the shop, and they can track you. They can know what you are doing, what product you are taking into the basket. And you can go because they know exactly what you have bought. So these things is also going to to change the future. Again, is the convergence of connectivity, artificial intelligence, and things that were not connected before, and also 5G can help in this as well. Okay. Okay, Exxon, well, maybe this is not so impactful, but well, I can talk about Exxon. It's about replacing the very old system with a digital system to control the oil and gas plants, etc. I can tell you something maybe more closer to you. It's something that we have been analyzing with oil and gas in Middle East. I prefer don't take the customer, but it's about as per my understanding, not an expert in oil and gas, but one of the things that happens in an oil and gas plant is that is very important is to monitor the flare. So you have a kind of very large tube, a chimney, with at the end you have a flare stack, right? That is burning some gas, right? And it's very important to control the size, the color, because you will see the quality of and what is happening with the with these products that are producing the the oil and gas plant, right? So then, well, you have two options. You can see with a video, or you can have somebody looking, and or you can develop a solution with artificial intelligence, with a camera or with a drone. And you can inspect with drones and artificial intelligence these kind of flare stacks, okay? And well, and many other things that you can monitor in an oil and gas plant, right? Good. More things that are happening is the well, and this is more, yeah, maybe more about the edge computing in the hospitals, right? The hospitals are going to produce more and more super massive amount of data. It's incredible the amount of data, and also they need to retain, and also they have law enforcement because they need to retain in a certain way. So, and also it's very critical, it's the typical case of, the hackers try to attack always the hospitals, So, well, how you manage the data, how you help to the doctors in the diagnosis, right? So again, using artificial intelligence, in this case, they are using an Intel software framework with our, let's say, standard processors, right? So they can help you, it help them to have a very efficient diagnostics. And this can be then connected. We are working in very advanced concepts, like, for example, federated learning. There's a very interesting trial we are doing, in this case in Spain, is between different hospitals. You know, it's typically when you are in a hospital, you cannot share the information of one patient to other hospital. Of course, it's very confidential, right? But maybe what you can do is to share your understanding of what's going on with this particular data of this patient, but not the patient name, right? With other hospitals, and all of them can try to, let's say, work in the same analysis of similar patients and then compare, you know, and take advanced conclusions and improve the algorithms. And this is a case of federated, you know, in a kind of mesh. You have hospitals and computers collaborating each other, learning each other, because this is about artificial intelligence in this case, in order to develop very effective diagnostics. That's very, very interesting. And well, finally, one case of the telecom industry, that is Verizon, where Verizon is quite visionary in the cloudification of the network, in the end-to-end cloudification of the network. So then, going back to the first slides, when we see this kind of you know, dots that spread in between, right? Verizon is really one of the first operators that has a very visionary, you know, bet in doing that, right? And we contribute with different kind of technologies, with our software stack, in order to make this happen. And I don't want to go, you know, deeper in this, but basically what we help is to have a network that can reduce and improve the latency in the response of certain services, you know, and this is a non-stop process. Okay, you always continue improving and improving the network, but I think Verizon is significantly visionary on that. And well, this is all my presentation. I took 50 minutes, Reinhold, and I will be very happy to answer any question.
Thank you, Ignacio. There is a question from Ibrahim.
Yes, thank you very much, Ignacio, for the presentation. I have a question regarding one of the first slides that you showed. The amount of R&D in Intel is considered high compared to the revenue every year. How does that affect or affect the culture there in Intel, and how does it cascade to the culture of the employees in terms of innovation, and how does it impact you and your employees personally? Yeah,
that's a great question. I think well, I think it's all about innovation. You know, I think Intel culture is you know, we have and I can show you deeper how the Intel is organized. Well, what I know, because it's so wide Intel that I always discover something new, right? And just 5 years in the company. But I think you know, we have a very strong organization that we name Intel Labs, that they are just experimenting and prospecting in new technologies continuously, you know, like, for example, quantum computing, neuromorphic computing, things very, very advanced. And then we have the possibility in the field, people like me, I work in the sales organization, but I don't really sell nothing. So I try to help my customers to innovate, right? So what we have is people that, like me, that collaborate directly with the business units, or we can talk to anybody in Intel. Is very, very flat communication, right? That's fantastic. And the people answer, really, you know, if you go with a good topic. And propose and work together in things. As an example, and let me give you an example. I've been working all my life, 25 years, in technology companies, in vendors, and very innovative companies, okay? I have the opportunity in Intel to cooperate with R&D, with the people who is defining the products. And well, the truth is that in these 5 years, I'm co-author of 4 patents. So how is this possible, right? Because I work in sales, right? So it doesn't matter, you know, everybody is innovating. So and also so I don't know if I answered your question. You know, it's difficult for me to answer. I think we have a strong culture of innovation. Everybody has some freedom to propose, to talk to everybody, to collaborate in a kind of network. And this is our way of doing. I don't know if, and then yeah, the budget of course is important, you know, because this requests to invest massively in some things that maybe there will be a product or maybe not. As an example, we see quantum computing is going to be real in maybe 8 years or 10 years, you know, and we are investing a lot of money in quantum computing or neuromorphic computing. These are concepts that we don't know if there's going to be a product even in the future, but we are investing a lot, you know, collaborating with the universities, etc. And I think this is very important. I think the next years, my personal opinion, all the companies should have some space, bigger or smaller, for innovation, no matter what is your business, you know. I talk too much, sorry.
Any other questions? Ignacio, the edge infrastructure sometimes puts me on edge. We've talked about this earlier, I think, when we talked about AI as part of this program, but everything has at least one flip side, if not more. And with all the connectivity and everything connected and all the data being collected and shared with various networks, the concern I always have is network security and also privacy. So how does Intel deal with that incredibly complex challenge?
Yeah, no, excellent. I think is one of the major, you know, it's very, very important in the conception of all of our products. I think we are incorporating into our processors and software as well, more and more technologies to secure and to guarantee the security and the privacy of the end-to-end. You know, I think it's difficult to guarantee end-to-end. And I can tell you, I've seen when I talk to a really expert people of security, there are so many scenarios where the people is hacking and getting information and doing these things, you know. So how to guarantee end-to-end is, you know, is what we name full encryption end-to-end. So everything is encrypted, everything runs in the processor encrypted, transport in the network encrypted. Even if you are the administrator, you cannot access to the information. So this kind of technologies for doing this possible, Intel is participating. I recommend you about this topic to take a look to a consortium that we are participating. The name is Confidential Computing. Okay, so we are working with other industry leaders like Microsoft as an example in confidential computing. How to guarantee this for the governments, the hospitals, or even any subscriber? Why not? You know, so this should be the default. You know, by default. No, I think this is like the thing should be. You know, to guarantee the privacy.
Ibrahim.
Yes, actually, I want to take the chance to ask you, especially with your responsibility to the Middle East and Africa, what's the future of Intel in the region? We know that so many developments that's coming in the region, the budget that is the governments who are thinking to digitize everything and to improve the digital infrastructure. I think Intel will have a huge impact on that. Where do you see the future of Intel in the region?
Well, I can only see a bright future. You know, I think maybe because I came here and for me was a nice surprise. I discovered many things. I learned a lot of things in Middle East and Africa. I think the company is conscious about the opportunity. We are investing, we are hiring people in the UAE, hiring people in Saudi Arabia. As an example, we just hired one person in Saudi Arabia, and I think this will continue because we need to be there. You know, we need to support this change that is happening. And well, Africa as well, I think is the only market in telecom that is growing more than double digit, I think, in the world. So well, I think we are a very, let's say, open company, you know, and we believe that Middle East and Africa is an investment area. You know, I don't know, I cannot answer with more details because it's not really my responsibility, but I can tell you we have plans of growth.
Any more questions before we thank Ignacio? Anyone? No? You're all anxious about your presentation. Oh, there we go, Atyaf. No? Oh, that's okay. Ignacio, thank you so much for enlightening us about the connected world that we have and the more connected world that we're entering in the near future. So I always mix up the handshake with the hand, raising the hand. So thank you so much, virtual applause. Really appreciated this. And have a good evening yourself. And we'll take a 10-minute break and then we'll be back for the team presentations. Thank you, Ignacio.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
10 minutes and then we'll be back.
Reinhold, may I know who's the first team to start so we can just arrange stuff?
Yes, so we'll make it very easy. We'll go by the traditional numbers that we have used. So team 1 will start and then 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so my team and I. Okay, that's great.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for asking.
So as everyone is taking a break, when I just say hi to Abdulaziz and Lama, thank you for joining the panel discussion today and watching the projects. And thank you also. I know maybe you want to take a break or you're still joining us. I'm just welcoming the panelists. I don't know if we have, I'm trying to read the name here. Reinhold.
Reinhold, yes, that's correct. No,
Wonderful.
I'm here.
Have we met Reinhold before? Have we met prior to this meeting?
I think I met you briefly, or I saw you briefly at the kickoff, at the very beginning. Yes, yes. No, I'm here. I just need to maybe take one minute quick break, but
please go ahead. I know you've been in this class for some time now. Please feel free to take a break.
Yes, 5 weeks. This is more than 5 weeks. This is the end of a 5-week learning journey. So I'm delighted to see you and thank you for joining us, your team, your group for the final session and the presentation. And
thanks to you for all the wonderful job that you've been doing with this program.
Well, thank you. As we
very
say,
positive feedback.
Okay, it's good to hear. Thank you. Of course, improving and strengthening an existing learning culture and innovation capacity is a longer term process, and I'm excited about SIDF building an innovation center and having these innovation champions. I've done some capacity building around innovation in different parts of the world. So this is exciting to see. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So how are we going to go about the projects and the presentations? Are you going to be introducing the panelists and then we were going to start with the presentations, or would you like us to have a brief introduction among us and I introduce Lama and Abdulaziz from the panel session?
Yeah, I mean, that would be nice. And I think I would defer to maybe Tim or you to introduce the panelists. And then also, if you want to, you can certainly introduce yourself. Each team will have 15 minutes and we'll divide those in 12 minutes presentation and 3 minutes Q&A. I'll try to be a strict keeper of time, though I'm known as having a little bit of flexibility, but at the same time, I want to make sure that every team really has the same chance. So Tim, what do you think? Would you, in terms of introduction of the panelists?
I'm fine either way. I mean, I think Dr. Khulud should probably do that. That's fine with me.
That would be great, yeah?
Yep.
So do you have any other questions?
I think we're good. We have 5 minutes to go before everybody's back. So I'm really keen about you taking a break if you need to. So
no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I got my coffee, but maybe too much. So give me 1 or 2 minutes and then I'll be back.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Abdulaziz, Lama, thank you for joining us this evening.
أهلا وسهلا. كيف حالكم? How are you guys doing? Good.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you.
No, thank you for arranging this. I'm really
This is
excited.
wonderful. It's a wonderful group, and Silicon Valley Innovation Center is one of the leading academic providers when it comes to innovation and capturing new technologies. And I think having that lab within SIDF under HR is something that we need within SIDF, and it's about time. It's about time we start really putting some work into thinking of innovative learning techniques. What are the new technologies to be captured? فالله يعينكم. It's going to be great. We are going to be actually offering this program again next year, but for the ecosystem.
إن شاء الله. وبعدين يمكن إحنا كمان نضيف batch number 2.
Very
we can't do this. Yeah, we can't do this without you guys. يعني صراحة, thank you so much for the support. حتى Abdulaziz, thank you so much for also being part of this. يعني I'm excited to see what we do today. Tim as well. How are you, Tim?
I'm fine, thank you.
I don't want to miss anything. Hi, Dennis. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure whether you had met Dennis yet. Abdulaziz, have you met Dennis?
No, Dennis, I just saw you.
Yes, I was waiting for the prayer break to end. So good to see everyone. Very excited to tonight and look forward to what the teams will be presenting, and good to meet some of you.
To meet you.
Likewise.
We'll do a proper introduction in 3 minutes. It's just a casual, informal discussion. Thank you, Tim. So how's it going?
Fine. It's good to have it done.
5 weeks, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's 5 weeks, and it's every night from 6 to 9. So it's quite a commitment that the people have made. So it's good.
Very good. Very good. Ustaz Abdulaziz, you're still in office?
Yep.
معانين إن شاء الله.
الله إن شاء الله. It's fine.
Abdulaziz, طلعت أنا يمكن على الساعة 6 كذا كنت contemplating should I stay, should I go home? قلت لا خليني أكيد إذا قعدت للساعة I'll be exhausted to drive.
مو 7 8
يعني 7 يعني لو بنت
8
جد 8. I'm like no, let me be here. When I'm done I can crash.
Yeah.
I don't know how you did it, Tim. I mean, every night, 6 to 9.
And the teams as well.
The teams as well. Exhausting. صراحة يعني that's amazing. يعطيكم العافية دكتور.
احنا في الأكاديمية we are getting used to evening meetings. يعني we manage between daytime meetings and evening meetings because of our friends in California. So it's 6 a.m. their time, it's 7 p.m. our time, and we usually have like 2 to 3 days a week with evening meetings. So we balance between day and night, even the participants.
People in California are getting used to waking up at 5 a.m. these days because of lots of the time differences with the global market. So it's very common here to wake up early and then start the day early, but finish early too.
Yeah. Some do.
I know.
Well,
So
was that one thrown at you, Dennis? Was that grenade thrown at you?
No. Of course not. Of course not. I would never do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait until people are coming back. So if you are coming back from the 10-minute break, if you could turn on your camera so that we know you're here, that would be fantastic. And this is it. This is the grand finale. 5 weeks in the making. Very much looking forward to the presentations. And I do want to, of course, welcome the panelists, and we'll have Dr. Kolod Ashgar introduce the panelists. And I want to publicly acknowledge my appreciation working with Tim over the last couple of weeks. Tim, you've been a great contact person, and I really appreciated our conversations and also email exchanges in between the sessions to kind of you giving me feedback and also some very helpful context. So thank you, Tim. It's been a pleasure working with you. And I also want to acknowledge the teams. You've all worked hard from 6 to 9, 4 nights a week. I know this has been challenging because you also have a day job. And as I said, I'm really looking forward to the presentations. Before I pass it on to Dr. Kolod, just a couple of housekeeping items. So the sequence will be team 1 starting out, and then 2, 3, 4. Very easy. Each team will have a total of 15 minutes of presentation time, but the actual presentation, I want to keep it to 12 minutes, and then we'll leave 3 minutes for Q&A. And that includes everyone, the panelists, of course, if you have any questions to the teams. But also I want to open it up to other teams. If other team members have questions to a specific team, that's the time to do that. I will do my very best to be a good and fair timekeeper. I want to make sure that each team has the same chance to present their project, their solution, their process. At 10 minutes, I'm going to just very briefly say that you will have another 2 minutes for wrapping up the presentation. So at 10 minutes, you might be surprised how quickly time goes by. But I want you to really be mindful of your colleagues and stay within the 12 minutes. And one final thing, I mentioned that before, this is a team effort. Everyone needs to contribute to the team effort. We've talked about innovative teams and collaboration, especially during the first week. So this is really important for general teamwork and collaboration, but especially for innovation. So everyone needs to really participate and be part of the presentation. I think that's all on my list in terms of getting us started. But before we do that, Dr. Kolot Ashgar, you want to just briefly introduce the panel?
Yes, thank you very much. So hello everyone, assalamu alaikum jami'an. Maybe I'll start by congratulating everyone for completing and reaching the completion or the end of the Innovation Champions program. Of course, this is the first academic program that SIDF offers and is dedicated to SIDF employees. So you're going to be the first group of champions leading innovative work within SIDF. So I'd like to extend a huge congratulations to all of you. Thank you for your commitment, your dedication, and all the value that you have added into this program and into this journey. Of course, Renaud, Tim and Dennis, and I have been discussing this program for months and months, and I'm glad that it came to execution and implementation. And we have plans to offer this program again next year to the ecosystem. And Lema is saying that we would like to also introduce a new group of SIDF champions to be enrolled in this program. So I'd like to thank Silicon Valley Innovation Center, SIDF Academy team, HR team, and all the members for, again, their commitment to this program. I will introduce the panelists. Of course, we have with us Mr. Abdelaziz Al-Ghafeli. Of course, we all know each other because we are all SIDF employees. So Ustaz Abdelaziz Al-Ghafeli is VP of Technology, and I'll have him speak for a minute or two about himself as well, and why is he showing interest in this program. And also we have, of course, with us Ms. Lema Al-Dosari, General Director of HR, and who has ownership over the innovation lead and aspiration vision of SIDF. And I think also Tim is going to be one of the panelists. He has been managing this program and other programs successfully within SIDF Academy. He's a senior trainer, of course, within SIDF Academy. He's been in the fund for over 22, 23 years. And myself, of course, Khulud, the director of SIDF Academy. So thanks to the panelists, and I'll maybe give a few minutes to the panel members to introduce themselves and give few words as well. نبدأ بيك أستاذ عبد العزيز.
Thank you very much, Dr. Khulud, for providing me with this opportunity. And also thank you and your team for really having this great innovation program. You touched upon one thing as what's my interest? Why do I want to really be part of this panel? If we think about technology, we think about process, all of those are assets that have somewhat of a not so long of a life shelf. Those things that can easily be bought, they are a commodity. But when we're thinking about the human aspect, which is innovation, that is the only sustainable success factor of any organization. And that's where my interest comes. I'm part of this great SIDF organization. And it is within my greatest interest to ensure that we have the highest asset available, which is innovation and creativity, as part of our SIDF DNA. And I would always love to be part of this journey and the next journeys of harboring this great energy that we have, and ensuring that we have this nucleus chain reaction that will keep making SIDF great. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Lema?
First of all, I want to thank you and your team, Dr. Khulud, for putting so much effort and being our partners in this journey. Silicon Valley as well. The program that you've built, we've looked at it together, and it's great, it's incredible, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the output of this program. Just like Dr. Abdelaziz said, our asset at the end of the day is our human capital. Our human capital bring their brains with innovation. I see innovation as an identity, as a culture, and as a tool that we use across the board in SIDF, whether it's improving processes and technology, which is where Dr. Abdelaziz probably is very familiar since technology is usually the most innovative area, but also in the minor things that we do every day. So even solving little process problems or like coming up with solutions, all that is based on innovative ideas and innovation. So I really look forward to this, looking forward to continuing building this foundation within SIDF and creating a culture of innovation and an identity that we can all be proud of and build on. Thank you all.
Thank you, Lama. Tim, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, the only the thing I'd like to say is that, you know, it's just too bad that you folks never had the opportunity to see, you know, the wonderful group of presentations that we had all the way through this. Silicon Valley did a great job in really reaching out. We had Amazon, Google, Facebook. We had all of the big names come in and do an hour presentation to the group, and it was very insightful because you could see the role that technology was going to play, particularly in the innovations of tomorrow, and how that was going to shape our world going forward. So I thought it was, you know, I think we learned an awful lot of things that we would not otherwise have even known. So I'd just like to thank Dennis for putting that together in his group, and also Reinhold for guiding the groups through this sometimes difficult journey. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Back to you, Reinhold.
Okay, thank you all. So we're going to start out with team one, Ibrahim, Abir, Tasneem, and Dima. I'm going to pass the floor, the
Thank you, Reinhold.
panel to you, and let me know when you're ready.
I think we're ready. Shall we start?
Yes.
So
It's
thank
all
you,
yours.
everyone. Yes, thank you, everyone, for attending today. My name is Tasneem Ismail, and today I'll be taking you through our chosen challenge, brief concepts and processes. Abir, can you please move to the next slide? So starting by the defining the design brief, we have gladly been chosen by SIDF to be the innovation champions in order to find the best solutions to enhance SIDF client experience and satisfaction, with taking that into consideration and taking also the legal operation technical obstacles that resulted in the complexity of the communication flow within between SIDF, the client, and all the stakeholders involved. We have utilized this program to explore possible solutions to solve the communication issue. Abir, please, next slide. So starting by defining the project objective or aim. So we basically aim to develop an integrated system with the organization, with other organizations within the ecosystem to deliver the best customer experience. And we're going to measure the success of this project through stakeholder satisfaction rate and meeting the initiative objectives we have set for ourselves. In addition to that, throughout this project, we aim to deliver an added value for the industrial sector as a whole, ease the process of factories establishment, provide domestic product support, and lastly, achieve integration between industrial sector and other sectors. Next slide, please. So let's start by defining our key user in this challenge, which is SIDF client. And there are other stakeholders involved in this challenge as well, such as SIDF internal departments, TSD, MSD, legal department, PM, and RM, in addition to other government entities. We aim by this solution to clarify the process and requirements of factory establishment by minimizing the number of duplicated requests from multiple organizations within the ecosystem and the overlapping requests, in addition to designing a special track for SIDF client in order to simplify their journey and help them minimize the interfere of multiple organizations together. So next slide, please. So the question we're trying to answer is that how we might find a solution to develop an integrated SIDF loan processes in collaboration with other concerned stakeholders in the ecosystem, which its answer will be our proposed solution that we have developed. And by we, I mean our amazing team led by Abir Al-Gahtani from Credit Risk Department, Dima Shail from SIDF Academy, myself from MSD, and Ibrahim As-Saloom from TSD. So the framework we have followed starts with in-depth research, then forming these insights and information into insights, actual insights. After that, we have integrated all the insights that we have formed to define what is the exact key challenge. We have also generated ideas, built prototypes, and lastly, we hope to implement this project as a final change after the program in collaboration with SIDF. So getting into the details and explaining the proposed solution and the challenge will be my colleague Dima's responsibility, which will take you through the entire project journey.
Thank you, Tasneem, for the fruitful overview. Hello, everyone. This is Dima Shail from SIDF Academy. Allow me to share with you our project journey through Sprint Base. It is a virtual innovation platform. Well, the journey started by the kickoff, moving to insights, opportunity, brainstorming, idea to prototype, feedback, and finally project presentation as we are meeting here today. In this slide, glad to share with you a sample screenshots as we can all visualize our workspace. Now, let me expand on preparation to form insights. In the workspace, we captured our research as lists, photos, interviews, and observations. We had 2 interesting interviews with SIDF stakeholders, customer experience, and business development teams. As an outcome of those interviews, customer experience shared client journey map. On the other hand, business development, we discussed the current running communication initiatives between SIDF and other government entities in the ecosystem. Now, let me expand on shifting insights to opportunity. Our team have worked together to create interactive user personas, insights, and point of views to support generating ideas to opportunity stage. So thank you all for listening. Now I shall hand it over to Ibrahim, who will take you through the next phase of the project journey.
Thank you very much, Dima. We'll move to the next slide. Actually, it was a great experience moving forward into all the steps of developing that project. I will talk about the brainstorming. We gathered together to brainstorm and to generate ideas. This is our idea, like what we call it, the idea generation wall. This is where what happens virtually for the sticky notes. We write all the ideas and we make it as a sticky notes in the generation wall, so that we will have a better understanding and a better brainstorming sessions where there is no critique on the ideas. We generated several ideas to solve the problem of having issues related to the other stakeholders in the ecosystem. Like if we have an issue with a CR that is not updated or changed, however, it is submitted throughout the system, but it's not reflected that there is an update on such certificate or other permits. Next slide, please. And moving from the brainstorming session, we started to think about how we can implement such ideas. We had several solutions to solve such a problem. We thought of having an integration between an existing systems inside this SIDF, an existing system for the ecosystem. We have NAFAD for the whole government ecosystem, where there is a similar registration for all stakeholders, while we are proposing that we can connect the dots together between the other government entities, like for example, having a CR coming from the Ministry of Commerce that will be already registered once we enter the data of the customer or the loan applicant. It will pop up all the information that is related to that customer in terms of construction permits, in terms of LOCs, LCs, all the details, and it will be the most recent updated documents that is available for such customers, which will ease the process. And we explained that idea to several stakeholders like Tim Douglas and Ryan Al-Fuzan from Business Development, and we received a feedback from each and every personnel. The feedback from Tim was to yes, go ahead for the feedback. So the feedback of Tim, it was positive feedback for the for Tim, please. It was a positive feedback in terms of it will ease the process and will bring together all the information of the clients. However, the downside of that idea, that it would be a huge scope of work that need to be shortened or focused to solve some problem and to test as a prototype. And it's the same feedback that we received from Ryan Al-Fuzan, that we should start with a prototype or a smaller scope, since it's a very broad scope and it involves many stakeholders, either several ministries and several stakeholders. And the feedback was to focus on some smaller scope of work to solve, and this is the main idea of the process. I will leave the floor to Abir to explain the implementation and the next steps.
Thank you, Ibrahim. This is Abir Al-Qahtani. And following what my teammates have discussed and taken into consideration all the feedback we have received, including our mentor, Reinhold. This is the client journey roadmap, where the client starts with the Ministry of Commerce to issue the commercial registration, and reaching out to the industry of to the Ministry of Industry to obtain the required permits, and then through Mudun to secure the land where the factory will be built on. Following that, and during the implementation phase and prior to start of commercial production, the client will require to obtain several approvals from several stakeholders. In this example, for the food and beverages sector, the client will reach out to the SFDA authority, and in case of any presence in the export market, the client will reach out to the export authority inside the kingdom. So all these steps are migrated and integrated into the platform to ease the client journey and to easily authenticate these steps through the SIDF system, and to help monitoring the client journey throughout the loan journey, and also achieving our main goal, which is increasing the customer satisfaction. The final step of the design thinking process is the implementation plan, starting with getting the approval from the decision maker in SIDF, and also involving the other stakeholders and pitching the idea to them, working on the minimum viable product and launching the soft launch, where it would include the a limited number of clients. And the next step is is going through the enhancement phases and testing phases to eventually officially launch the idea, and finally monitor the customer experience or the customer satisfaction rate throughout the journey. With that thought, we have completed the design thinking process, and with this short condensed presentation, I hope you enjoyed the human-centered design thinking process, and I hope you enjoy the journey we've take you through with the Silicon Valley Innovation Center. Thank you for listening, and we are gladly taking your questions now.
Thank you, Team One. You are a role model in many ways. You stayed absolutely within the time given to you. Really appreciate that. Other teams, please follow that. I really appreciated how you laid out the process. Very nice, the experience that you went through, but also I very much appreciated how you used the client journey at the end as part of presenting your solution, as that really emphasized the human-centered aspect. So I want to invite the panelists to ask questions, as well as any members of the group, please.
Okay. Thank you, Reinhold, and team, our first team. Thank you very much. I'm very proud of you. I think a big portion of this presentation have demonstrated that from the process side of innovation, you got it. And I think this is one of the main goals of this program is, again, this is the first batch or the first cohort. And if we only get out of it a perfection of how innovation is done, because innovation, by the way, is a process. And if you perfect it, ideas are always going to come. Now, my question is about, again, or it's a comment and then I will go to the question. I think that you have brought a very broad, painted a very broad idea about the fact that you want to enhance the journey. But if you want to filter it out, because now we're talking about your idea, what you're trying to pitch to us, because we want to invest after this in a couple of ideas that we really want to make it reality. So what is it that you want to sell to us? Any of the team members. Ibrahim, Dima, anyone?
Repeat that, the last portion of the question, I couldn't hear.
My question was, if we want to be precise, what is it that you want to implement? What is it, this idea that you want to sell to us? We have resources and money, and we're going to say, we're going to invest with you.
Okay. In simple form, it is a platform where the industrial sector will be integrated and migrated through this platform.
Okay.
So
And
it's, if you may allow me to jump in, it's the idea of the platform is similar to Nafal, which is the one accessible platform for all the individual services. So we were inspired by this platform and thought, why don't we implement something for SIDF client in particular? So we have like a successful model that the government has implemented. And if they manage to implement it on an individual level, then we as an organization can actually implement it on our organization's level.
Got it. Tanseem, صح? Tasneem, عفوا, sorry.
That's okay.
Unified access, by the way, is only to get you within a government agency, actually. It doesn't share information. Are you aware of that?
Yes, but the thing is, for SIDF portal that we're planning, is that why initially we have thought of this idea, is that we have noticed that throughout the project evaluation processes, we have noticed that after we evaluate a project and they go to establish the factory, they come back sometime 2 years after or 3 years after they request an investment review, because they face obstacles with other government entities, new regulations, new specifications, new product, whatever specifications that or regulations that's required. So if we have that one accessible platform where the government can give us prior information other government entities, such as we have proposed that this project is going to be established. They can provide this like a prior information that this is going to happen. Please consider this and that in the evaluation processes. So this is the aim of the project, is that to have an open communication with SIDF and other government entities and be involved in the regulations update processes.
Be involved in the regulation side, right?
Yes.
Okay, Ibrahim?
If you allow me, I want to explain it by example. If we have, for example, a factory that is working with Mudun, and what is happening now that we will enter all the data manually in Tamkeen. But what we are proposing that once I enter the CR number, it will pop up all the details of that factory that is registered with Mudun throughout an integration with the other entity system. That it will give me what is the recent construction permits that is under that CR number. It will give me the details of the registrations in the Ministry of Industry. What is the name of the sector? What is the all the details that is related to that CR number, so that we will minimize all the details of all the manual.
Very clear. So you mentioned two things. You mentioned industrial license and the information that is associated with it, correct? And you mentioned the CR, which is commercial registration, and the information that is currently pertained to it, correct? You want those to be populated from the source.
Yes, we know that it's a bit challenging, but we believe that if a decision maker is involved, we can make it happen.
Right. Now this is good. I'll tell you something about it. Now the idea is great, but this idea have been implemented with the SIDF 3 years ago. So I would, the idea, I'll give you guys A, but from research point of view, I would suggest next time if you want to develop an idea, research what is available so that it will give you an opportunity to perfect it, meaning that it's available, but we can actually make it better. So both
actually, we have done that. We have approached a lot of departments and we have heard about this, but no one gave us any information, and what we have actually received is that this is something new. So literally every involved department we have approached.
Got it. Okay, thank you. I'm done with the question. And again, I congratulate you. And for me, usually the first team have the biggest burden to impress us. And I think you ladies and gentlemen have impressed us. And again, I cannot stress enough that in terms of perfecting the process of innovation, I'm very proud of you. Thank you. Anyone from the panelists want to ask a question?
Yes, thank you, Abdulaziz. I second and I echo Ustad Abdulaziz and what he said. In terms of, I think you've done a very good job in understanding the process on how to come up with an innovative solution, and how you came about designing a prototype, and the way you guys managed your presentation and the flow, and how you moved from one individual to another. I felt like everybody had a fair share of how to express their ideas. I think the area of improvement for me that I saw would be in defining the challenge, because when you started off your presentation, you mentioned that this was about client experience and in specific the communication flow. So I anticipated something that has to do with communication in specific, and then at the end of the presentation, turns out it's more about a platform. And if I understood correctly, it's more of a workflow management kind of portal of some sort. And then I got a bit confused on, is this more to serve the client, or is it more to serve me as an entity or Lamudin as an entity to have let's say a unified database? But I think this is where probably an area for improvement. Maybe if you as a next iteration, زي ما كمان بالإضافة in addition to what Mr. Abdulaziz said, maybe do a little bit of more research, because we do have a platform that is similar to that IT actually worked on, and then technology worked on. And then the other thing was maybe zoom in a little bit more and be more specific on which process that you want to really help solve. Because other than that, I think you've done a good job in trying to take in the human aspect of things. You looked at the client and tried to solve a problem for the client, as well as different entities, which I think are also clients maybe to us. Also in terms of generating ideas. So that also was an area of strength that I saw in you guys. So well done, keep it up. And I think the next iteration of this will come up with something really, really exciting.
Thank you so much.
Well, so thank you, Abdulaziz. Thank you, Lama. Thank you, team. From maybe the presentation, I can read between the lines that you have put a lot of efforts into coming up with these ideas. And the whole purpose of this training is to capture what are the new innovative processes and how we can generate solutions, how we can identify challenges, and you were successful in doing a little bit of research, the interviews, the teamwork, all of these things were very much noticeable throughout your presentation. I would like to ask one question. Maybe one of the team members can answer this question. If you can, in summary, give me one or two innovative tools that you have used throughout this project that you have learned and implemented in this project. So what is it that you have learned and acquired throughout the 5 past weeks, and you are implementing it now in this project? 2 learnings, 2 techniques, tools.
Maybe the biggest tool we would be used in this journey is the sprint pace and the introduction to sprint pace. It was very convenient, especially in the current circumstances, where the team online and offline could work together throughout the design thinking process.
So one of the tools is the design thinking process tools.
With the platform we've used is called Sprint Base.
Mm-hmm.
We've applied the design thinking process throughout this platform.
Yeah. So the learnings that you have acquired is the design thinking process, and this is what you have learned, and now you are transforming it into this project and into this idea. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
One last thing. One of the things we have learned is that Reinhold is an amazing mentor. Honestly, I have to give him a credit.
Wonderful. What I'm looking at, honestly, because we're all professionals, and we know the processes, we know we've learned a lot throughout our career and our education, but I want to capture your own learning from this program and how is it translated into the projects that you're presenting today. This is what I'm trying to get to. So if design thinking is something that you have learned and you will be able to later implement it within your daily work and operations and future projects, then this is a very big win. Thank you very much.
I second you, Dr. Khalid. This is the only thing you got, then you got the best tool for success. And you will be successful, inshallah, in the future, God willing.
Thank you.
Tim, do you have any?
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing that I would add here is that you know, this group took on a pretty big challenge. When you're talking about taking all of these elements from the ecosystem and trying to incorporate it into a platform. Personally, I think that it's possible, but it's a big project. Now, going back to Abdulaziz's point, I think if they had taken perhaps one element or 2 elements of this program and started with that, understanding that the other ones could be built in later, it may have been a little bit easier for them to go through the process, because then they could focus just on one step at a time. But it was pretty aggressive. But I think the lesson learned there is that if you're going to take on a challenge, understand what is manageable and what may not be manageable, given the time constraints that you're working with, and you only had so much time to work with. So perhaps taking into consideration the size and complexity of that project, maybe a little bit smaller one might have been or at least a step approach might have been helpful.
Thank you all. Thank you to the panelists for asking very good, pointed questions to support the ongoing process, because this is not the end, it's the beginning. And I'm looking at the watch, so I said earlier that I would also encourage team members to ask quick questions. I'll see Dima's hand up. You have one comment to make or a question?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone, Reinhold and all the panelists for encouraging us and sharing the valuable feedback. And what I really would like to share with the teamwork. The teamwork, what is making this really special, the diverse thoughts, feedback, discussions through the design thinking process. This is something that we really need to maybe take and embrace at the end of the day from this program specifically. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dima, for that reinforcing comment about the importance of good teamwork. Easy to say, not easy to implement, and it takes time to practice. As I always say, we got to practice our innovation skills and collaboration skills as we practice our muscles on a daily basis. An applause to Team 1 from everyone, please. You did an amazing job because you were the first. And as one of the panelists said, the first team always gets the toughest questions. So let's move on to team number 2. Michal, Atyaf, Abdulaziz, and Sarah. Let me know when you're ready and I'll start the clock.
Yeah, we're ready. Can we start?
Okay, it's all yours.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with us today. I'm going to start presenting Team 2 project. We have named our project Project Badr, a design thinking sprint. Next slide, please. On behalf of my team, I would like to take a moment to thank the panel for giving us a portion of their precious time to present what we have worked on during this amazing journey, during this great program. My teammates are Abdulaziz Moussa from Market Studies Department, and Mish'al Mahasan from Technical Studies Department, and myself, Atiyat Nayan, from Human Resources Department. Next slide, please. I'm going first to talk about how we defined the challenge. To take you through how we defined the challenge, it might be best to tell you a little story. On our first breakout room during this program, we were 4 team members, and we were brainstorming and trying to think about challenges that we personally face in day-to-day operations. And one of our team members said that talked about a challenge that she is facing, and she was very anxious to start an initiative to work on. And another team member politely interrupted her and apologized that the idea that she's talking about actually is an idea that he and his team is working on for a year now. And the output or the product of this idea should see the light very soon. Next slide. So from this story, we have noticed that we have a challenge here, and we should aim to organize the efforts resulting from having an enthusiastic and initiating workforce in SIDF. What we should do is synergize efforts, enhance and create best experience in innovative and initiative journey, and duplication and initiatives and projects. Next slide, please. So when we talk about our users mainly are SIDF employees in all levels, and our end customers resulting from this initiative is SIDF as a whole. Next slide. So actually validate what we have found as a challenge, my colleague Abdelaziz Moussa will take you through the field research and show you what we have done in step 2. Over to you, Abdelaziz.
Thank you, Atia. So to understand more about the challenge, we did a field research. We started the field research by interviewing some of our colleagues in SIDF. So we interviewed 5 SIDF officers and 4 team leaders. We have observed some common things that they are facing. Some of them are saying that there are some miscommunication, and that miscommunication is resulting in overlapped initiatives. And actually that results in frustration because they have already put the efforts and time to go that far, and unfortunately they find someone else is doing the same thing. So some of them are actually limiting their innovation by having only initiatives that are top down. So also to understand the challenge better, we put ourselves in the shoes of SIDF employees. We did the empathy map to understand what they say, what they think and feel, what they hear, and what do they see. So for example, they see a lot of conflict, and that conflict results in a stress. And also they hear there are a lot of initiatives. However, they are open to new ideas. Next with how might we questions with Mishal.
Thank you, Abdelaziz. After the field research, and to get more specific about our challenge and to get deep in our challenge, we start develop our persona, which is Budur and SIDF employees, and we come up with 3 challenges as shown in the screen. How might we synergize SIDF employees able to minimize overlapping? The second one was how might we enhance Budur initiative journey to avoid duplicated effort? The third one was how might we reframe Budur initiative registration to be able to know about other initiatives? And as per teamworks, we start voting to choose the best. How might we describe our challenge? And to be more specific, we come up with how might we synergize SIDF employees ever to minimize overlapping. After that, we start the step 4, which is generate idea and prototyping. We start brainstorming. We come up with a lot of ideas. So we choose the best 3 ideas as one. The first one was innovation platform. Innovation platform, it's like a digital platform. It's able or enabling that to share all SIDF initiatives ongoing to all our SIDF employees with some features such as asking for feedback. If you need any feedbacks from SIDF employees, so they can share their feedbacks with you. If you're asking for support from a certain department or someone who has a good experience in certain area, you will just send support requests or submit support requests, and then you will get the answers from our expertise in SIDF. To enhance the engagement and to better enhance the communication across SIDF, we ask after we come up with this idea, we ask for feedbacks from our colleagues in SIDF, and some positive feedback such as it will be a center of initiatives, and also it will lead to synergized effort. Some area to develop, or the negative, I would say, long time to implement, and it might be a high cost. The second idea, it will introduce by Abdelaziz. Go ahead, Abdelaziz.
Okay, so we came up also with another idea, which was to create a panel or a team with expertise in innovation and initiatives implementation. So how does that really work is basically anyone has an idea will present the idea to the panel. They will discuss it internally and make sure that it is not repetitive. After that, they will give the feedback to the initiative owner and will approve it or not. If there is no repetition, then they will approve it. So also we have shared that with our colleagues from my SIDF, and we received some positives and negatives comments. So some of the pros include that this will give the initiative owner a feedback from experts. The team will be very supportive and will result in a less overlapped initiatives by having a filtration system. However, there are some negatives that include that not all initiatives will be shared with all SIDF employees. And there will be some efforts prior presenting to the panel. And we would love to minimize that efforts. And going to the third idea that we have, Atiyaf.
Thank you, Abdulaziz. Okay, so our third idea came from our field research, when a lot of people said that there were a lot of initiatives that come from the bottom up, and that transformation of SIDF is over. So maybe we should just stop having initiatives from the bottom up and have them assigned only by higher management. The good thing about this idea is it will end duplication, because it's only coming from a centralized source. The other good thing is it will be aligned, of course, with the vision and strategic objectives of SIDF. However, this will maybe limit or kill innovation or creative spirit within SIDF employees. It will also be pre-assigned to employees, so it will be just like teamwork. People wouldn't like volunteer to participate in these initiatives. Next, please. Okay, coming up to our selection, we have decided to go with idea number 1, idea number 2, combining the platform with the panel, which maybe will result in the best results possible. Next. If we wanted to go to implementation, we were thinking that this idea would be best linked to Innovation Lab, presenting it to all our innovation champions. Also next, going to the top management, then running the pilot to ensure smooth implementation afterwards. Next. Thank you very much for listening, and we're happy to take any questions if you have them. Thank you.
Thank you, team two. Your area. Sorry, Reinhold.
No, go ahead, please.
This is your baby, so go ahead and ask the first questions.
No, it's their baby. I just want to emphasize that I really enjoyed seeing that you had quite a few interviews. Again, field research and going out, talking to the users, understanding them through interviews, but also depending on the challenge through observations. That's key. That's key to understanding the problem space. I also really appreciated how you emphasized the empathy through the empathy map. And finally, you, after the feedback, you combine 2 of your ideas to basically come up with a more systemic approach that would address a couple of things. So I really enjoyed that. So back to the panel.
Thank you, Reinhold, and thank you, Abdulaziz. It's indeed our baby. First of all, I want to commend the team on, I loved how you used the empathy map. It's the first time for me seeing it in front of me like this being used in such a presentation. I really loved it. It gave it some kind of human touch. So I loved that part. I also loved the idea generation. It was very clear and structured for me, the way you have, first of all, starting from defining what the challenge was, and then structuring the ideas and the pros and cons for each one. And moving on to the end where, according to your research and how you guys evaluated everything, the combination of two ended up being the best solution so far. So that I like that. I think I would have liked to see, the one area I would have liked to see was an actual prototype on how this would work, like a minimum viable product of some form. I think that was the only missing part I would have liked to see. But other than that, I loved the way you guys also took on the storytelling. The one thing I'm curious to know is, how would you go about, you've mentioned an innovation portal, which, by the way, everybody, we're working on that, so it's coming soon, inshallah. But aside from an innovation portal, the main challenge was tracking initiatives, right? So innovation portal is going to help us capture the first ideas that come in and then sort them out and then pick the most viable ones out of that. But and then how would you suggest you would keep track of the initiatives, the ownership of those initiatives, and then following up through them until implementation? As an example, let's say HR, since I'm HR, so we come up with some idea. We put it on the innovation portal. Some employee puts it on the innovation portal. It gets picked up. We say, okay, yalla, let's go and implement it. Who follows up whether or not it's implemented? And then whether or not it was successful, whether or not it should be owned by who, all of that. I'm just curious to see if you guys thought that part through. Thank you.
Actually, this is the main reason that we have decided to combine the two ideas, which is the panel and the platform. So the platform itself, it might be optimized by providing like a timeline and the calendar. You might automate sending emails, reminders, or tracking method of anyway. But the panel, one of the panel functions or responsibilities is to track initiatives to make sure that great ideas that have been filtered and took some efforts of SIDF management or the panel itself will not just be left out, maybe by providing a timeline. Then maybe we didn't get a chance to see the calendar in the platform prototyping, but we had a calendar that will track each initiative and show you by color coding which is on track and which is delayed and which one is stopped and or completed. So yeah, this is, I think, the way to track the initiatives. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Atia, for answering. Abdulaziz, if you have any questions.
Thank you very much, team. And again, I think that's maybe tied to also the comments that we have discussed before. It's good to do in-depth, let's say, investigation. As Lama have said, they're already an initiative, and I think that the team from HR is in the last, let's say, stages of implementing it. Probably a good angle here is to just distinguish how you can do it better, or how can you build on top of it. Because think about innovation is not coming with something new. Sometimes just combining a couple of two things and making them better. I mean, the sum is better than the part, or same idea, but you can deliver it better. So my two questions are, how big is this problem that we have? Since you mentioned that we have an idea collision. So we need to, what I'm asking is, we have about 600 ideas that is floating within SIDF, and about 30% of them will have collision. That sort of information is very important. If you have it now, or maybe you can research it later on, because the percentage will give you a good idea about a problem worth solving or not. But The second question is about how do you ensure sustainability? And we had it's integrated. How do you keep people pumping new ideas or innovation within the innovation platform? Go ahead. Abdulaziz, Atiaf, or Rahim, any?
I think I can answer part one of your question, maybe by asking you a question. If there is any time, I don't have actually very specific figures that will answer your question, but I think there might be times that XCOM has received like duplicated ideas, and then the teams were stopped and told that this initiative has been started before by team X. So
Many times.
Yeah, I think this is an issue. Maybe sometimes the ideas are not duplicated, but other people need to know, and we need to get the word out there so we can combine efforts and interests to synergize, actually building more on this idea to create a better result. So it might not be a great issue. However, having this solution will kill this issue before it starts, and it will create a great result afterwards. Going to your next question, I think sustainability will come from higher management support, which is a great factor here. If you direct anyone with an idea to the platform and to the panel, no one will have will go about doing ideas their own way. So I think having higher management support is a great factor. Also, one of our success factors is, of course, measuring how many times the employees interacted with this platform. And then we can measure how we enhance the experience of this platform, making it better. Of course, it's not a one-way direction. Thank you.
Thank you. Really, thank you, and great answer. And I'll just comment about one thing, and this is take it as a general wisdom. By the way, it's not has nothing to do with all work, has nothing to do with this idea, but in life, not every problem is worth fixing. And by the way, there are things that we just have to accept. So that's why measuring it, prioritizing what needs to be fixed, is a lifestyle more than even a professional style. That's just something general. I think all of us at a certain age, we come to this conclusion. The second thing about sustainability, when you mentioned, yes, you mentioned something very valid, which is management or executives support and directive can be a tool, but believe it or not, it's not a sustainable tool. We cannot always rely on the management stick. That just doesn't work always. But the second part you said is the most interesting one, is the one that I was actually looking for when you said about measuring it and making it apparent. So what you're basically talking about was utilizing something called gamification theory, correct? I think that's a better tool. That's a more sustainable tool than executive management support. It could be, it's not either or, it could be both. But if you can find a way to inject your ideas the theory of gamification, you get gold. And by the way, this will go with all other ideas. If you can build that into it, you get sustainability. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. I have no more questions.
Yes, thank you very much. Throughout this process or this exercise, you've been introduced to a very systematic methodology of how to look at a challenge, identify challenges, do observation, conduct research, brainstorm solutions, and design and create a prototype and test it at the end. So this is basically the whole cycle of the process. Learning that process, and I think this is the juice of the whole 5 weeks of what you have learned. What will you take? What will be your added value to your daily operation using that technique or this process that you have learned in the innovation lab or in your daily work operation? What will be your added value? What are of these techniques that you will implement in your daily work? What will change from today to tomorrow? What will you come to office tomorrow and do differently?
The most important thing which we believe it's to understand the challenge, go deep in the challenge before you propose the solutions or start generate ideas. Because sometimes we spend more than, I think, 3 weeks or 4 weeks just to be aligned in our challenge, to understand that we are going to fix or to start generate idea for the specific challenge with the same understand for all the team. So most of, I would say, innovation or initiatives fail because we are not going to solve the exact challenge or the exact issues that we are going to solve. So we commitment as a team to focus on the challenge. Don't jump to the solutions until we understand, until to make sure that we are understanding our challenge. So this is might be some insights we are going to take it to our people.
Very interesting, Mishal. Very good, very good. Other ideas? What will you be bringing to your work differently than before? أطياف مين كمان معكم؟ عبد العزيز.
Yes, if I may add. So understanding the process let you understand the whole challenge. So starting by defining the challenge, doing the field research by having some interviews and etc. Going going also to have some insights, etc. So understanding the whole process, I think this gives you the opportunity to deliver a better outcome. And that's what we were focusing more on, to understand the process than the solve the challenge, actually.
Interesting.
May I add, Dr. Khulud? I love this question because the whole process is evolved around people. Also the templates, everything is very simple. So I think what it added to me that simplifying how you think and don't just make like big drawings and big graphs, just think simply about human-centric ideas and challenges that, because eventually what you're serving are people. So I think the simplicity of the process itself is what I liked most and what added most to me.
شكرا أطياف. Thank you, everyone. I think you're on mute, Renaud.
Thank you. I was on mute. Thank you, panelists. Tim, any thoughts, questions?
Yeah, I just had one question. When you spell out your challenge, you used the word synergize. Why did you select that particular word?
Go ahead, Abdulaziz.
Okay, yeah. So we think that there are a lot of scattered efforts going on with initiatives, and we don't want like someone like only concerned about their initiative. We want to have like combined efforts. So that's why we came up with synergize.
I'll tell you, I mean, and I often see this, you know, it's just a little bit of a language issue, but the way you described it, I think the word synchronize is more appropriate for the way you described it. Now, the outcome, definitely, when you take two things and add them together and you get 5, that's synergy. All right, so that's why that's why I was curious, because the use of the word wasn't exactly consistent with the way you were describing the challenge. To me, it looked like you wanted to eliminate duplication and wanted to synchronize efforts. So it's just one of those things that.
That's exactly what you said, Tim, because when our teammate who just came up with an idea that Abdulaziz was working on already, we thought that why didn't she know earlier? Maybe she would have joined, and then we'll create synergy. Synergy is when two like businesses join forces together and then create a greater result. So I think this is where the word synergy came from.
Yeah, it's just in the way that your challenge was phrased, right? It seemed like it was aiming at eliminating duplication as opposed to creating synergy. So you've got to be careful how you use the words.
Sure.
Thank you, Tim. I actually learned something new from you. See, we're all learning.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, thank you. Small point.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, panelists, and of course, thank you, team 2. Very much appreciate your presentation and some of your learnings. It's good to see. It's a journey. Let's move on to team 3. Mohammed, Sarah, Gadir, and Mohammed again. So let me know when you're ready. Are you ready?
Ghadir, I think you are muted.
Okay, I didn't.
Yeah, I was looking for the word mute so I could unmute myself.
Okay, it's all yours. I'm going to start it now. Go.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank thank everyone, to thank all the teams, and special thanks to our mentor who actually helped us and support us throughout this challenge. I would also like to extend the thank you for the panel who gave us part of their precious time. Okay, I would like to start with giving hints before starting our challenge. First of all, our team, we call it leadership team because it is related to leadership. And also I could quote from the panel, it is related to investment in human capital. Let us start with a story. Or first of all, let me introduce the team members. I was lucky to work with different team members from different departments. Like we have Mohammed Al-Shabanat from TSD, Sarah Sayari from Business Development, myself from Support Services, and Mohammed Al-Masri from PM. Okay, so before telling you about the challenge and dig deeper to whatever we did until we reached the solution, let's start with a short story. We have a department, let's call it Department X at SIDF. In that department, there is a team composed of 4 people, Noura, Khalid, Sami, and Ali. As you can see, the years of experience for Khalid is more, so he's the most experienced one. When there was a vacancy for team leading position, Khalid was assigned by his manager as their team leader. Unfortunately, he lacked several vital skills, such as, just to say some, leadership skills, management skills, and communication skills, and other skills. So what happened is that instead of leading by example, he was not able to lead and he micromanaged his team. He had unclear thoughts, so he gave unclear directions to his team. Then, instead of giving good feedback, he was not even able to give them constructive feedbacks. The result, as you can see, he had unsatisfied team. They suffered from career burnout. And if you ask one of them, he could tell you, I would never be a team leader because I'm afraid I would be someone similar to Khalid. So to start telling you more about the challenge, I'll pass it to my colleague, Mohammed Al-Masri. He will tell you more about the challenge. Mohammed, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for the great introduction, Ghadir. So just to elaborate on the story that we have seen recently, we believe that the current procedures for choosing a leadership or someone to have a leadership role in SIDF is not well structured currently. Because it mainly relies on recommendation and the experience of the individual themselves. we also believe that it is the most vital role in SIDF because it doesn't only affect the workflow itself, rather it also affects the whole organization, the environment, also the team members, and eventually affecting our customers. So our project objective is and our challenge focus is on the leadership position. And our objective is to develop SIDF's potential leaders and have them fully equipped with the required skills that will enable them to effectively handle this position. Our proposed key deliverables from that project is to have a full development program for the potential leaders that requires or includes periodic assessments for them, also a specific training programs that enable them to handle their team better and the work. Also, we believe that being a leader should have also the coaching aspect, which is very essential to develop next leaders and to manage the team themselves. Additionally, we also propose to define the required skills for all the team leaders. The project users from our project is the SIDF potential team leaders, which are mainly the employees that are on the senior levels that are the next in line leaders. Also, the recently promoted team leaders for their sustainability. From all of that, project, we aim to have 5 main goals that will affect the whole organization. Mainly to have fully equipped professional team leaders that will also reflect in having an empowered team members. All of that will affect the whole environment, eventually for us to have a greater environment to work, which will also enable us to achieve SIDF's KPIs more effectively and to have optimal operations. All of that will eventually focus on our goal in SIDF and to be more customer-centric and to have more satisfied customers. And in order to have a clear vision in our journey to achieve those goals, let me please ask my colleague Sarah to continue that.
Thank you, Mohammed. So I will take you through the journey that we passed by and the steps that we went through during the previous weeks. The journey is not different from what our colleagues in team 1 and 2 mentioned. However, I will mention it in our way. So first we started with the first stage, which is the challenge selection. And this stage, we came up and throw our thoughts, challenges. Everyone think and throw what you think about. The main rule here is to accept any challenge from silly to a very extreme ones and not to judge anyone. After that, we chose one of the challenges, which is presented already by my colleague Mohammed, in order to focus on it more. Then we came up with a hypothesis. And in order to test this hypothesis, we conducted several interviews with the main stakeholders across SIDF. The results of the interviews came in insights that we will go through it later on. And then after the insights, we started the most important part, which is identifying and coming up with ideas related to the solutions and prototyping. Last but not least is the implementation stage, where we stop here. And we have an implementation plan that we'll talk about it in the coming slides. At the beginning, we defined a general question in order to start the challenge, which was how might we develop SIDF potential team leaders from selection to experience. After that, we conducted the interviews with 6 different departments, 6 stakeholders. We started with the senior employees, as you can see here, and we would like to share with you a couple of interesting thoughts. As you can see here, the senior employees, one of them mentioned that my team leader lacks leadership and negotiation skills, so I feel disappointed and can't trust him. Another one showed that they faced an issue with and challenge with their team leaders as they don't give them a constructive feedback. On the other side, the team leaders also have a pain and they have a challenge with this position. from the quotes, we can show this. I was assigned as a team leader and I didn't want because I believe I'm not ready. Another one, he mentioned that he needed more year of leadership experience along with extensive training in order to be confident in leading my team. So as you can see here, the result shows that there is a pain in SIDF within this position. We also introduced and we also interviewed the HR department in order to know the criteria, the process, and if there is any program that targeting this stakeholders, who is the team leaders. However, as you can read, there is no specific criteria when assigning team leader. It's based on recommendations by managers. Also, they don't have a program that target potential team leaders, although they believe it's very important. After we conducted the interviews, we came up with the results and we reflect those results into personas. One persona is for a team leader, for the team leaders, while the other is for the officers. We do the personas in order to collect all the common inputs and the characteristics and categorize them into goals, challenges, and habits. After that, we identify a couple of insights. As you can see here, there are 3 insights as an example of those. After this stage, we started the ideation of the prototyping and the solution stage, and I will give the floor to Mohammed Shabanat in order to present it and go into details.
Thank you, Sarah. As my colleague Sarah mentioned, that we have conducted a lot of interviews and then we build the persona. So after building the persona and the insights, we have redefined our challenge question to be very specific and has more empathy in it. So we came up with 2 questions. For example, we came up with how might we help SIDF potential team leaders to feel more confident about their new position. After having a focused question, we started to brainstorming. We have started to conduct a lot of brainstorming sessions. We started to throw a lot of ideas. We started even to challenge each other's ideas. We built on each other's ideas. And then we categorized our ideas based on prior and past promotion. After that, we came up with one package solution, 4-step solution. And this is a prototype for the solution. The next slide will explain more about the suggested solution. So the solution package that we came up with starts with having an assessment tool in order to assess the current capabilities of the potential team leaders, highlighting their strengths, their weaknesses, their needs, a gap analysis or a gap analysis in their skills. Then to define the required skills for specific, the most important required skills for the team leaders in SIDF. These skills could be general, for example, how to give constructive feedback, how to make a decision properly, or could be specific based on department needs. For example, in credit and studies, because they deal with numbers, the team leaders should have a lot of deep analytical skills. The third element of our suggested solution is to have an extensive learning journey that should last for 6 months or 1 year. This journey should have a lot of short-term courses. These courses should focus on the required skills that SIDF leaders should have. The last element of our solution is to hire or to assign mentors or coaches within SIDF. These mentors and coaches should be available for the recently promoted team leaders. If they face any difficulty, any situation that they need input from an expert, they can utilize the coaching, the coaches and mentors. For the implementation of this solution, we believe that we just touched the surface. So there is a lot of work needed in here. So we believe that we suggest to work closely with the HR department because of their extensive knowledge and experience in running such programs, and having SIDF Academy to support the team, the Innovation Champions team, and the HR department. That's what we have to present. Thank you so much. And if you have any question, please go ahead.
Thank you, Team 3. Appreciate it. And again, you're right on time. Let me turn off the clock. It was very nice to see the persona that you worked on, actually the two personas that you worked on to represent the key characteristics of two of the main stakeholder groups. And that was a nice reminder that design thinking is really about people, as several of you have mentioned before. So if that's one of the things you walk away with, then I'm happy. So panelists, do you have any questions for
Yes.
Team 3?
Yes, if you allow me, Lama or Abdulaziz, if you allow me, I'd
Go
like to first thank the team for the presentation and the teamwork and putting the time and the efforts in producing this idea. My question is, why did you select this challenge from all the other maybe challenges presented within SIDF or SIDF clients or the industrial ecosystem? How did you define this challenge as a significant challenge that needs to be addressed in an innovative way?
If the team allows me to answer, we met several times when we started the program, and we came up with a lot of, or let's say, several challenges. Some of them were focusing on how to improve certain needs of SIDF that lacks. Some of them like to discuss with Great Place to Work if there is any chance to have an area to improve. Other idea was to introduce a new product, but we wanted to have more challenge that it is really pain, and most of the employees might suffer, because if you have a good team leader, the officer will give the most out of them. If you have a recently promoted team leader who lacks some skills, the officer team of this team leader will start to question their capabilities. They will start to lack the support, the feedback that they need. So we wanted to have a real pain challenge that to tackle.
Throughout the program, have you learned techniques that are specific on how to identify challenges and put them in priorities? Like, how did you come to the conclusion that this is a priority as a challenge?
If you would allow me.
Ready?
First of all, at the beginning of the program, Reinhold showed us a book that is the book of good questions. So how to find a solution or a challenge to find a solution for was to ask the good questions. We asked, and he mentioned that if you're going to brainstorm ideas or for the challenge, throw out every idea that comes to your mind. So for instance, we started with very simple ideas, like how to balance between work and social life. And then we try to find more complicated ones that is related to SIDF clients. And then afterwards, we find that we voted for one of the challenges that is for the team leader. And we try to focus on the empathy that is actually related to design thinking, is that to have an empathy to the client that you're working with, or the client that you're trying to solve his or her challenge. So these are the main things that we learned from this challenge. And as learning is an endless journey, I would like to quote Mr. Abdulaziz, who mentioned that innovation is not new thing. It is finding ideas that exist and then finding something that is better, or developing this idea.
Very good. The second part of my question is, what do you think from the solutions that you have provided to this challenge is considered innovative?
Maybe I can answer this question. Having a package, a program that consider different aspects from the beginning, before being a team leader and after being a team leader. We didn't only focus on a team leader itself. We focused of preparing the team leaders. We believe this gives more innovative, since we didn't think of the final results, which is being a team leader. No, we thought of before being a team leader by making or doing an assessment tool, enhancement for the program, or coaching for being and identify the required skills. Also to have a program that focus on the potential team leaders.
Excellent. And from this process, what have you gained? What have you learned?
Do you mean by the process of the solution that we came up with?
Identifying the challenge, proposing solutions, and all of, what have you gained?
The most important thing is working in steps or stages. Usually in our daily life and in our work life, we always think of the challenge and we come up with a solution without even identifying the stakeholders and who are the main users. However, by joining this program, it likes show us and help us in how to arrange our steps, how to arrange our thoughts, to identify who are the users, to feel. And empathy is very important, because when you feel of others, you can be more innovative in reaching out to a better result.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, everyone.
Abdulaziz, do you have any questions? You're muted.
Yeah, I prefer if Lama goes first, because again, just happened that this is your area again, but go ahead.
And I'm very protective about this area as well. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Khulud. Very valuable, Saraha questions. I'm just honestly, again, it's a touchy area for me. But I'm curious to know who you spoke to in HR, right? Because nobody came and spoke with me, honestly. But I did like, going back to all seriousness though, Tayyib, I did like some of the things that I liked in your presentation is the empathy part. I liked how you were human-centric in terms of thinking about the employees themselves who have to deal with, let's say, a not so ready team leader to become a leader, and also a team leader who was put into a position of becoming a team leader without being fully prepared. So I really liked how you looked at it at both sides, not only from the employees who are being led. That was very good. I loved how you guys defined the challenge. You thought about something that maybe a lot of you see on a daily basis, and then you really zoomed in on the challenge itself, and not just about finding a team leader, but you defined it as the team leader not being ready, or the selection of the team leader is not based on clear criteria. So that was very good for me. I also liked the storytelling, how you took us through a story of someone, Muhammad, it was Muhammad or Khalid, someone, where he was the most senior, and by merit of that, he just became the team lead, which is a very common practice, whether in SIDF or outside. The areas that I would have liked to see better work on was something that Abdulaziz mentioned. Would have liked more research to be done, at least on the topic, because we do have a high potential program that goes through all those 4 steps that you mentioned, which is assessments. We assess the employees through an assessment center. It's quite comprehensive, actually. We do have competencies and defined skills that are needed for those leaders to reach. We have a gap set for them, and then we create a plan across a whole year to bridge that gap with some of the top schools. This year, for example, we have our hypos doing their module 5 and 6 with London Business School. And this is a year-long program that they've been going through. And we actually do have a coaching and mentoring program. So please come visit us in HR to learn more about those programs. I think maybe we could do a more advertising, I think, to our programs in HR. But aside from that, what I do like and I do agree with, and if any of you would like to come and work with us in HR, I'm very open to the idea. I love the ideas that you come up with, is that selecting the team leader. Yani that is actually a gap that I agree with you, and it's an area I would love to hear more drilling into as innovation, coming up with innovative solutions. Right now, we assess people. Today, it's in division head level and above. Next year, inshallah, it will be a team lead. We're going to go down to team lead. Last year was the first pilot, which is this year. Yani. Next year, we want to go down to team lead. But I do think it would be very useful for SIDF to somehow govern how we choose the team leader, who even steps up to become the team lead. I think that's a very good area that you identified. So I really like what you did there. I think that's the feedback I have. I don't really have much questions. Maybe more around the idea generation. The idea generation, I did feel that it was more generic. So I would have liked to see more something like, I think I was expecting to send something more out of the box, but other than that, I think you guys have done a great job. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Lama. If you allow me, actually, we asked HR, and as you mentioned, that we have assessment tool, we have coaching, we have everything for the HYPO program. However, there is no specific program that targeted the potential team leaders. The HYPO, as they told us, it could be a manager, it could be a division manager, it could be a team leader, anyone. However, we are targeting the senior employees, and what we would like to achieve or to target is the senior employees, and to move into team leader. We believe team leader position is the most critical and the most sensitive position at SIDF or any other entities, because he will deal with a manager and he will be a manager. At the same time, he will deal with the lower levels. So, and it's the first step of the management level. So that's why we chose this challenge, and we would love also to work with you to create a criteria or a program, whatever you see it fits and suitable.
Thank you, Sarah. I can
Thank
see.
You. Thank you, Sarah.
Muhammad, yes.
If you may allow me, Lama, first of all, thank you so much for your input, for your feedback. We really appreciate it. And as my colleague Sarah said, we're very happy to work with you, to work this challenge. We are aware of the high potential program. I am one of the high potential leaders in SIDF, and I know the journey, and I'm really enjoying it. So we cannot say, though, many thanks to HR for this program. And as my colleague Sarah said, we are targeting senior officers. We are not targeting management, because the process of HYPO starts from the team leaders and above, and we are targeting the less senior than the team leaders and above. Regarding the coaching and mentorship, if I know there is a mentorship program, I'm not sure if it is the same that I know, because I am also one of the SIDF mentors, if the program that was introduced maybe 2 years ago. But that program was targeting the newly joined officers who joined SIDF in order to speed up their engagement in SIDF, not targeting also the senior officers or the recently promoted team leaders. I really thank you for your input. If you want us, we are here. We already met with some of HR representatives. If you want more discussion, we are happy to discuss with you.
No, from my end, I'm actually very happy with the work that you've done. I think it's very good input, and especially that now you have narrowed it down. Now I have more clarity about what the challenge is, right? So well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Abdulaziz, all yours.
Thank you. Now, I cannot add more to what you have said, to Dr. Khalid have said. I tend to agree with all what was mentioned. Like now, I'll give you one advice, and I really did yeah, and like the way that you developed it. I really like the way that you have actually shaped it. In terms of non-technology related idea, I think you have done a very good way to prototype it even. The only last part that would have been perfect in my eyes if you have referenced hypo. If you did that, that would have been great. Just this is the idea, and this is how you're going to perfect it. And by the way, in terms of innovation, and I'm not talking about creativity here, it's actually worth more when you perfect an idea than to come up with a new one, because that's where the money comes. And we're not, again, today in our session, it's not a competition. We're not here to judge you based on who's better, who's not. And we're preparing. And I wish the 4 teams here and more, next time they will go to Shark Tank, where they actually pitch commercial ideas. So I'm more concerned about just giving you those points where you can actually score high when you go for a second round, or even if you actually go through innovation as a way toward a entrepreneurial path, or even working exclusively in innovation creativity. So very good ideas. I would have just wished to have you explicitly mention that this is where the idea came from, and this is how you're gonna either differ from it or make it better. Other than this, great job, Salah. I'm very proud of you. Thanks.
The only thing I'd like to add is that, you know, I think they have identified, perhaps people don't like to refer to it as a problem. I'd like to refer to it as an opportunity. Oftentimes, I mean, probably over the 20 years that I've been here, I've taught over 400 people. So obviously I talk to a lot of these people as I meet them in the halls and so on and so forth. And one of the comments that a lot of the, especially the credit folks that I've trained, a lot of the comments that I hear back from them is that they really, really, really appreciate when they get a good team leader, when they're assigned to a good team leader, because they know that they're going to be starting on the right foot. And the worst thing that can happen is when that doesn't happen. So the role of a team leader, perhaps, I'm not sure whether it's appreciated the way that it should be in terms of the opportunity to positively affect the growth potential of the young people coming into the organization. So I think they've really identified an opportunity, or if you want to put it in another term, a problem to be solved, right? But so obviously there's something that isn't quite working right in, you know, as it exists today in the selection process, and perhaps there's ways that we can address that. Thank you, but a good job in presenting.
Thank you, Tim, and panelists. Dr. Kolo, did you ask questions? I forgot. Okay, good. Thank you for asking good and challenging questions. As the group knows, I love good questions. It's more important than most other aspects in the innovation process, is knowing to ask the right question. And as Abdulaziz mentioned, knowing what the real problem is. And then, of course, is it worth solving? So we're going a little bit over 9 o'clock your time, but I want to make sure that the team 4 will also have the same time and the same chances for questions and answers. So for team 4, Elena, Osama, Amjad, and Sultana, are you ready? If so, the floor is yours.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Osama, and today we're going to present our challenge, which is SIDF Initiative platform. It's a bit similar to Team 2, but inshallah we will see a different approach, how we come up with a solution for this challenge. But before I start, I would like to introduce my team. Lina Ashrif from Portfolio Management, Amjad Al-Habib from Finance Department, Sultana Al-Junaidil from Human Resources. So in this slide, the design brief, I'm going to present, or I'm going to explain our challenge by answering 4 questions. The first question is why we think our challenge is very important. We as employees at SIDF face sometimes some difficulties to get some information about a project, such as who is the project owner to contact, or if I want to suggest an idea, but I'm not sure if someone has been working on it, and then it might cause a duplicate effort. And then when I would like to get such information to make sure the idea is not there's no someone else working on it. I'm gonna spend so much time searching and asking the departments about their projects. So we believe this challenge is very important to avoid any duplicate efforts between departments at SIDF, and also create a collaborative culture where all employees can view and share thoughts with the project team. And the second question is, who are the users and what is the impact? We think the users will be the project owner, and where they have a responsibility to share information about their project. And also SIDF employees and managers who are interested in some projects, especially if the projects relate to their work. The third question is, what does success look like on this project? We believe that the solution of the challenge will not succeed if the project owner did not share the information, and also we need to come up with a solution that makes SIDF employees engaged and interested to share their thoughts with the project team. For the last question is, what is the outcome of solving the challenge? We believe by solving this challenge, we will have a better communication between the project's owner and the employees. And also it will reduce the duplicate work and effort between departments, and having a knowledge base of SIDF projects where anyone can easily view and navigate the projects. In the next slide, my colleague Amjad Habib will explain about the journey.
Thank you, Osama. Hi, everyone. Let's take you to the journey of our project. Through the duration of the program, we learned many techniques and tools that facilitate our work and make the vision more clear for us through many stages. Firstly, we started with field research. We determined who's the stakeholders. We did interviews, a question with some users as a sample to get feedback. We did a process mapping and persona. After that, we go to the form insight and void which the list of them and choose from them. Also, we're creating the processing mapping and point of view. After that, we're going to create how much WH question and void in which the best one from them to brainstorm based on that. All these 3 stages is related to what's the issue, or to determine the issue. After that, we're going to generate idea and void from them to creating prototype based on it. And the last stage, we create a prototype and get user feedback as a more details based on the answers of the question we get it from the user. The last 2 stages, it's related about how we can solve this issue. I will leave you with my colleague Jelena Sharif to go through these stages.
Thank you, Amjad. So we will start, we started off the journey with field research, where we first identified our target users. So as we mentioned before, our target users are the project owners, SIDF employees and inactive employees. And by definition, inactive employees are the employees who haven't participated in any of SIDF initiatives. And SIDF employees are employees who participate, and project owners are those who come up with the initiatives and take ownership. So first of all, we started observing how does the employees respond to announcements of new initiatives or projects, how employees engage with existing initiatives, how project owners connect with their target audience, and what is the networking norms followed in SIDF. Then we conducted interviews with a number of colleagues in SIDF, and we tried to make the sample as representative as much we can. We tried to ask open-ended questions and speak to different people with different backgrounds and interests. And we tried also to conduct the interviews in different locations, inside the office and outside. And we tried our best to have it in-person interviews so we can observe their body language. So when we talked to when we had the interviews, we spotted some interesting observations. For example, the project owners reported that they are usually feeling overwhelmed. This could be due to a lack of support from peers or from management. It could be because of they are overwhelmed with the number of tasks they have to do, whether for their job or for their task or for their initiatives. For regular employees, one interesting observation was that they will only follow up with the projects or initiatives that are related to their department or their personal interest. And they also said that they found it difficult to keep up with the updates on ongoing projects while they are managing their daily tasks, because there's no clear or no unified channel where they can find all the information they need. Inactive employees were interestingly feeling disconnected to the community, and most of them are not aware of how someone would pitch an idea and to whom. So we created a persona based on our observations. For example, one of the things, we created someone called Abdullah. Nice to meet you, Abdullah. He's a typical SIDF employee, a senior analyst. He says things like the best thing about SIDF is the open door culture. And this is something we usually hear from SIDF employees. Abdullah is trying to get the CFA certificate, and let's wish him luck. We also created the empathy map. For example, we found out that most of the employees find that SIDF is an open door culture, and ideas are welcomed. But at the same time, they find it difficult to create a team, and most of the time they find themselves pitching the idea many times to many people, trying to find someone who's interested and who is ready to commit. So this could leave them feeling frustrated or misunderstood. So we then try to create point of views for each of our target users. For example, the point of view of a regular SIDF employee is that they need an efficient way to be updated and connected with the ongoing initiatives, in a way to engage and benefit from the projects that are related to their field of interest, or to get inspired. Project owners also find having a communication channel will help them promote their projects and connect with people who tried to do the same project before and learn from their experience. Employees also need a structured way of pitching ideas, because the current practice is unclear, as Team 2 has already described. So we selected our top insights. The first one was project owners, if there is an online platform, will they be able to activate it and update their project information despite their busy schedules? And will employees prefer using an online platform to view and engage with these projects? So we try to come up with an idea that could solve these issues. For example, we came up with multiple how might we questions. One of them, for example, how might we encourage project owners to provide regular updates on their projects and activate the platform? We don't want to launch a platform and then no one uses it. So this is something very important to us. Another thing is that we need to personalize the platform so employees could be encouraged to use it even if they have different interests. These are some screenshots of the space that we used, Sprint Base, and now I will give the mic to Sultana to walk you through the idea generation and prototyping process. Thank you.
Thank you, Lina. I'm aware of time, so I'll try to be short in this area, walking you through the ideas generation process and the prototyping. So in our ideas generation process, we thought of many possible solutions and enhancements that could improve SIDF project management and raise employees' awareness about this. So the ideas ranges from creating a whole project portfolio system or platform, all the way to improving employees' skills in project management through utilizing this platform as well. Next. So our selected idea to create a project management system platform that will allow SIDF employees to be updated about the whole projects and initiatives that currently ongoing in SIDF, and give them an opportunity to be part of this project if they want to. So on this slide, you can see the main prototype screen of this platform, which include features like home, setting, profile buttons, and I will explain it later in details. After creating our initial prototype, we shared it with a number of our colleagues for their feedback. They suggested that the platform should help both the user and the project owner, and also make the system will be more useful and will reach more employees if we use it as a self-development tool as well. So the platform, this is zooming in into the main screen of our platform. So the platform will be able to recognize the user, as you will see a simple welcoming message when you first open the page. And in the left side of the page, the user will be able to select the type of the projects or initiatives that they are looking for, either by interest, by sorting and filtering by interests, such as organization culture, business, finance, etc., or by department. So they can select any department and see all the projects and initiatives that are currently ongoing in this department from all different types. Zooming in, after the
2 more minutes.
After the user will select one of the interest or the departments, he will see a description about the selection and the members working on this. And he will see as well a list of the projects, and he will be able to click for more details, to ask questions or to contact with the project owner as well. In another page of the platform, keeping in mind the received feedback earlier from our colleagues, any user can use this platform as a way to develop and enrich their knowledge by viewing resources that includes TED Talks, articles, Yammer, and easily access to Yammer. And also they can have access to PMI courses, Project Management Institute short courses, where they can have more knowledge about project management as a way to get them interested to be part of projects in the future, or connect directly with the project owners. Next. So lastly, this is another prototype. The system can be used also as a mobile application as well. And the mobile application shall include all the features that are in the main web page, from areas of interest, project and initiatives, and etc. Thank you for your time, and the mic is yours for any questions.
Thank you, Team 4. Very much appreciated the empathy map and the point of views, how you used it to really bring the challenge down to a more human and actionable level. I also appreciated the kind of the details as you made your prototype visible and shared your ideas through a very tangible prototype. So I invite the panel to ask questions and add comments.
Okay, thank you, team.
Hey. تفضل تفضل.
go ahead دكتور خلود.
تفضل تفضل استاذ تفضل.
طيب شكرا لك. First of all, I commend the team. And I think I've seen the most advanced prototype. And just looking at the last portion of it, you're just a few codes short of having a full-fledged platform or system. So well done in that area. And what caught my attention was, I think, the portion in the middle when we were talking about defining the problem. And you've talked about several ones. My recommendation is to focus on one of the issues and expand on it, that you'll get something done. And then you can upsize the product. Like, the question that resonated was, can it be used, or how can we ensure sustainability? Now, that's actually the main challenge that I've seen in SIDF and even other organizations. Having a PMO or a project or a tracking system is something available. The challenge is how to make it simple and how to ensure that colleagues sign up for projects and that, hold on. I'm in a meeting, please. Sorry. Sorry about that. So again, that's one aspect. If you think about it, I think you got a great product. Nonetheless, even the definition of what you want to do is very great. I think that probably the first initiative in this one, the last initiative that you're talking about, is something that I think we can expand on. And I would love to hear from the teams after this challenge. Probably I can connect them with the teams that we have in SIDF that either working with something similar or about to finish up, so they can benefit from having this great energy coming from the various teams that we had. So well done, congratulations. Just again, focus in one area, for example, which was mentioned as engagement. How can you add engagement? And then we get gold. Otherwise, the platforms are, by the way, available out of the box. It's not the biggest issue. Engagement is where the money is. Thank you very much.
Dr. Khulud, you're going to go next.
ما أعرف في مشكلة في الصوت.
نسمعك.
I can hear you, yes.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Well done. I like this presentation very much, very well structured. I can hear the language of the techniques that you have learned throughout the presentation. And I can sense it, I can hear it, I can feel that you have actually applied what you have learned throughout this presentation in terms of the terminologies, the techniques, the processes, and so on. I want to ask one question. You will be leading the Innovation Lab in support with HR, of course, soon. You will be the champions, the 15 champions of SIDF. How are you going to go about this? What are your plans for this lab? What is next? يعني إذا أستاذة لما جات بكرة وعملت معكم اجتماع and she met with you مثلا for example if لما had a meeting with the group, the 15 participants or the delegates and said, well, now you have learned the innovation techniques, the theories, you've met with world-class speakers from Amazon and other organizations. Now talk to me, give me ideas, how we are gonna go forward with the Innovation Lab. What are you gonna be proposing? لأنك you've learned the skill now, it's time to apply it.
Let me answer this question with one of the slides. Let me just share my screen again. One of the slides we shared a screenshot of the idea generation wall, and we have came up with a couple of ideas. For example, coaching, mentoring, helping project owners build their teams effectively, adjusting KPIs, encouragement from top management. We have a lot of ideas, but we didn't really, we took Abdulaziz's advice early on, and we tried to focus on one area, but we do have a lot of ideas on how we can implement this, not just from the Innovation Lab part.
صح لي, I'm not talking about the ideas, I'm talking about the mechanism. The methodology.
Yeah, so so we thought we're going to adopt the design thinking tool that we have learned with Silicon Valley Innovation Center, starting with first of all identifying the issue, and then brainstorming, and then once we brainstorm, we have to separate the issue from the solution, because this will give us a wider perspective on how we can look into the issue. So afterwards, we can have multiple brainstorming sessions, have observations, collecting insights, meeting with people, and trying to make it as human-centric as possible. So this is just the start. And then once everything is in place, we can start doing the prototype, then having a minimum viable product, trying it out, setting the measurables and how we can quantify the impact, and then we can go on with the implementation.
Thank you. Other ideas? How are you going to be leading the innovation project within SIDF?
I'm not sure if this is our team.
لا مو هيك لينا، أحد ثاني أبغى أسمع ناس ثانية تتكلم.
So maybe I'm the perfect one to answer this, as I'm wearing both hats, the innovation champion hat and the HR side of it. So we have our plans. We have actually a big umbrella of innovation streams and the innovation program in SIDF. So as a champion, I'll speak. Champions will be supporting all the innovation streams that are currently ongoing and will be published to all SIDF soon, ranging from the innovation platform that we are working on it, the online platform, and from the operating model project, the Innovation Lab operating model project, which is a big project. We are actually in the final steps of it. And this project, we are going to create the strategy of innovation. The innovation champion's role in specific will be specified, linking it to innovation strategy in this project. And the innovation champions, of course, will be part of this project to lead the journey going forward.
شكرا سلطانة. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Khaloud. Thank you, Abdulaziz. I'm going to start off with just saying that I really loved how the presentation was structured overall. I think you went very smoothly in terms of storytelling. I liked how you did the idea generation. The idea generation wall was very well developed. I liked it, and I liked that you had a lot of, you put out all the ideas there, and then in the next slide you just really focused on what you wanted to focus on. So it gave me a good idea on how deep you went into the idea generation step. Absolutely impressive in the prototyping. I have to say that, I give you that. You have done very well. And then also in terms of all the team members and how you guys presented. So very well done. Honestly, I don't have questions. I just think, I think overall you've done well. And just, Dr. Khulud made me curious about one thing that's outside of the presentation. How confident and comfortable do you all feel after this to lead innovation facilitation in the lab and leading other teams in SIDF to help them come up with innovative solutions? This with a raise of hands using the reactions button. But other than that, I don't have questions. I don't see any thumbs up. Is that, should I be concerned?
It's the other way. So it's 10 minus 1. So we have confident.
Okay, so everyone is comfortable. I almost got a heart attack there. Okay.
No, don't worry. It's well-made investment.
I'm very well confident in them, inshallah. All right, very well done. Very well done, Saraha, all the teams. Honestly, I was very impressed. Dr. Khulud, I would love to hear your thoughts to Ustad Abdulaziz. And after this, I would love to have them present to the leadership. We do one presentation to the heads, بس كده على ideas that were generated.
But if it's Hil and I have to just leave in about 5 minutes, I want to say one thing again, and I can't stress enough. This is learning experience. We're not competing, we're SIDF. We have 4 teams, and we actually are looking for about 5 dimensions when we're looking at the innovation. But I would say 4 areas that I can actually seen it perfected with the teams. Meaning, if we take team 1, combine them with team 2, team 3, and team 4, I'll get the best innovation. And I'll give you why I'm saying that. So if we're looking at, again, it's for examples. I'm not gonna talk about all aspects now, but for example, when we talk about storytelling, take team number 2 as an example. Model your future innovation on it. When we're talking about prototyping, take the effort that's done by team number 4. That's how perfect prototyping is done. You just go up to the final look and feel. You don't have to fill out everything. And again, the other aspect was covered by our colleagues in team 1 and team 3. So think about it this way. Today was a learning experience, and even for me. So in your next future endeavor, look at which team did something better. The next time, I promise you're going to have everything covered. And actually, in the next innovation, let's say challenge, I don't think that we're going to keep the same team remained. We're going to have mix and match. So all of us will have a chance to work with other colleagues. Other than this, thank you very much. And I think that SIDF have done a marvelous investment. It's well worth it. We're very proud of you. والمعذرة اسمحوني I have to leave. شكرا لكم.
شكرا أستاذ عبد العزيز يعطيك العافية. Thank you.
يعطيك العافية عبد العزيز.
Thank you, Lama, Reynold, Dennis, team. Wonderful job. Congratulations one more time. And I look forward to innovative projects within SIDF coming from your ends, and I'll see you soon. And I'll say thank you to Silicon Valley Innovation Center, and we look forward to more programs in the near future. And have a lovely evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a few final words. Thank you to the participants. This was a learning adventure and a learning journey, and that's as some of you commented, that's really a never-ending journey. I have 2 mottos that I'd like to share with you. One is life is a prototype, Everything we do, everything is an opportunity to improve and to learn from. The other one is, what was it? Don't wait. Don't wait, innovate.
Yeah.
So with these two mottos, I want to thank you again, and I'll be in touch with Tim and others, and feel free to contact me if you have any questions via Silicon Valley Innovation Center. And thank you, Dennis and Irina, who organized all the fantastic talks that we were part of, fantastic, wonderful, inspirational talks. So thank you all, and it's late. Have a wonderful evening, and goodbye.
Thank you.
There's my kitty.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Tim, you want to stay on for a second?
Yep.
And there is Irina.
Hi, Irina. Well, I see your name.
And there is my little assistant who drove me a little crazy. There he is. There he is. A little crazy
there he is.
assistant. Okay, Tim, this was it. The beginning.
Good job. Yeah, it's like so many of these ones that I've seen. You know, you kind of look like you're in a mess about halfway through, and then when they know that they've got to, you know, they're going to have to present, they kind of hunker down and put the bucket.
Yeah.
as you
Let
would
me
say.
let me turn off the recording here.